close that, keep that open, move this around. I like to see the chat. Yep. Okay, so quick review of last time's event. Some of the group took a trip to a flying island that the commission had discovered nearby. They found some cool stuff there. Most notably for the people here, a couple of meter stick height pedestal objects that could unfurl their tip into a sort of a bowl pedal shape. And it took a little bit of work, but thanks to the fact that both of our wizards have obtained some new abilities, they were able to identify what and how these things work. They have they are synchronized to each other in a way such that each one will display a moving image of whatever is nearby the other one from its perspective while active. So one could hypothetically, for example, sit Captain Van on the west side of Fort Maricus, sit Dex on the east side of Fort Maricus, and have them have a conversation in whispered tones with each other, being able to see each other through these devices.
Interesting.
That's pretty cool.
For obvious reasons, these are a matter of pretty big interest to everybody involved. So research on them continues, trying to... Well, Dex thinks maybe we can make more.
That would be handy.
Dope.
And speaking of Dex, Montlaurent has been hanging out with him recently, getting some tests done. Although they're a little off the cuff. Dex is familiar with planar travel, Montlaurent being a planar traveler of sorts himself. But he's never personally visited one of the many other material planes. The ones that are very similar to our own, and home to all sorts of other very similar people. So the idea of figuring out a way to send a message from Montlaurent to his homeland, even though Montlaurent was not provided with, say, a homeward tuning fork of any sort, is an interesting challenge and one he's taken on. In the time since requesting Dex to help you out with this, he's taken he's taken a bit of your hair, a bit of your fingernails, a bit of your blood, just trying to discern your planar frequency out of it if he can, if your flesh and blood is for somehow tied directly or could reveal this component. You've given him what information you know. So some more practice with that is ongoing. He doesn't want to mess it up for obvious reasons. But ideally, he'd be able to do something like send information toward your home world that would allow them to send information back. And obviously, whoever sent you here figured out whatever frequency our home world is. So uh, there seemed to be some measure of imbalanced information working there. So I think uh,
A
what we want
permanent portal would kind of be handy.
that's hard.
Okay, a
That's,
semi-permanent portal.
well, yeah. So like if because Montlarin, you gave him a sigil sequence for a teleport circle, right?
Indeed.
So the trick with that is, and I can just show you guys the spell, because Dex would talk about it. He'd tell you how it works. Um, obviously you can plane shift to any plane out there, but pay attention to the materials needed for this spell. Um, you need for whatever plane you want to go to, you need a tuning fork attuned to it. Now you can go to a teleportation circle in that plane if you know the sigil sequence, but you still need that attunement. Otherwise, you'd just be using teleportation circle instead. I don't know why that cast is level 6 by default, but that's fine. So reverse engineering the planar frequency from nothing more than one dude who lived there and a teleportation sigil sequence is a little difficult, but not impossible. Probably not impossible. Dex is optimistic.
I like that.
Of course, there's the whole deal about this only being able to teleport creatures, so there might be difficulties there. But I'm sure we could figure out some way around that. Now, I want to ask a question of every player at this game, every character at this game, before we move on to downtime activities and questing around. So, what we want to know today is from everyone, what has been your personal moment of greatest pride? That's a neutral question.
I think Ronku's would probably be the first time he was able to successfully shoot a firebolt. He wasn't aware growing up that he was able to use magic, so when he was taught it by the elves, he would be pretty psyched, you know.
Yeah. So like he was never raised in a situation where becoming a wizard was even a concept. It was either
Oh yeah, absolutely not.
you were
Yeah,
born
he
magic
was
or you
kind of
just
coddled his
don't.
entire
Yeah.
early life.
Excellent.
Yeah, I think
How
sorry.
I just wanted a small elaboration that I thought of. How long did he spend training, and was there uh, any other spells that he like practiced first before he finally landed on Firebolt?
Um, I'd probably he probably studied for a, at least a year or two with almost no success.
Yeah, that makes
The
sense.
the elves wouldn't even let him begin to learn magic until they wanted him to master his body before he went on to master his mind. So probably that, and knowing Ronku's personality, he probably just went straight for Firebolt. Honestly.
Yeah. Here, pick out which spell you like. I like the kill one.
Do kill.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. Montlarin, please continue.
Yeah, I was just going to say that I think for Montlarin, it's probably the moment after after they recovered his brother's body and he decided to stay. Kind of the first moment he ever actually like made a decision for himself, which is kind of new to him, you know.
Wow, so that's pretty recent.
Yeah, for sure.
And that was a big deal. That was kind of a culmination that led to the taking of the vows finally.
Right, it's kind of the moment he sort of came into his own in his mind.
I can relate to that.
What was it that killed your brother?
It was a Nimbus, I think.
A Nimbus? You mean
Like-
Nimbus might object.
Like just straight up murdered you?
Well, no, I mean all of us took a shot. I just mean I'm pretty sure the last one was Nimbus's.
No, so he wasn't there, in fact. And I can tell you how this happened.
Yeah, it was before I got there.
Yeah. Nimbus was actually.
Nimbus wasn't present.
Oh, was it? Huh, weird. I thought it was a spellcaster.
So it was. So you all were investigating the site beneath the Loparo Manor for the first time. We've revisited that spot quite a few times.
Oh,
but
no. I was thinking the second time.
Oh yeah, because you Montlarin did go there the next time.
Right.
Yeah, he was in attendance.
Yeah. Well, what I mean is, I count the moment that my brother died as that moment.
Oh, I see. Got it. Right, because that was when it became the moment that it happened for Montlarin. But Beth Lauren, the brother, actually fell dead. The first time the team investigated the site under the Loparo Manor, the weird basement, a whole lot of paintings came to life. I believe they slapped Ambergreen from full to unconscious, if my memory serves. And then Beth Lauren fell trying to defend. Albus Taver fell after I think he got like a really good crit and then just got swarmed. And I believe our fighter Zemar escaped with one hit.
Right, only because everybody else urged him to run. He was actually thinking about staying.
Yeah. So
he's the only one that survived with one hit point.
Well, he survived with one hit point. The other two were lucky enough to stabilize on their own. They made their death saving throws and woke up a couple hours later being dragged through the dirt by some of Morio's minions, who they were, fortunately pretty dim and able to escape from. But Beth Lauren perished, and he was later discovered walking around, arms turned into swords.
He was zombified.
You guys killed him dead again, and then Vanther Zexias petrified his body for safekeeping for you. They've got it just sitting in a coffin in the storage room.
Oh, so that's what giant statue was.
Yeah. It's probably buried like all the way in the back by now.
Was a while ago.
Yeah.
He's just like in the closet, just.
They keep it covered.
That's a hell of an image.
He's like right next to like some cured meat on the wall. Oh, that's cool though.
Yeah, Naya, what's your best moment?
Well, you didn't say best. You said
I said
pride.
personal moment of greatest pride.
So that's kind of a a mixed thing. Like Montlarin, she's got a fairly recent thing that kind of supplants or updates or modifies her history. But up until recently, her greatest moment of pride was being accepted by the Druid Circle. It took a lot of years of work and effort and practice to be accepted and then to be sent out on her own, first mission and to do that successfully. But being accepted like a full member of that circle was a big deal.
Oh yeah, 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 and that was
It was
after.
it was the first time that anybody had accepted her for what she was. It was the first time since she snuck away in the night from her family. So it had been years since she'd had the support of any kind of a familial kind of situation. And it was a lot of work and a lot of effort getting there, but totally worth it. And then since she's been here, she met the grandmother. And that has shifted things in a way that she can't quite put words on. But there is a great deep well of pride, something like pride, um, as well as humility and gratitude and other things that she doesn't even have words for that describe her connection to grandmother and her wishes for the future and the things that she aspires to. But there's a kind of pride that doesn't really have any basis in anything, because if you look at the events of things, nothing's like really happened except that it's there, and it modifies her history. Her history, when she was accepted by the Druid Circle, was some 3.5, 4 years ago now. um but and it's a modifier that she can't quite describe, so she runs out of words.
Excellent. Thank you. Why don't we? Why don't we decide what you've all been doing with your downtime while I bring up this week's quest board? So, for
Have we
reference,
been at Fort Maricus before I answer that?
that's entirely up to you. You can choose your starting location, which is kind of why I wanted to bring up the quest board for you. But it's been you've had about 10 days of downtime since the last Redshift, which was the one after you and Montlarin went out. Ronku, I think you've been back for last one you attended was the raid on the fort. Is that right? So that was 2
Yes.
shifts ago.
Yes.
Oh well, that was
I was
going
gonna
to
ask you like
of a red
how
shift.
long. I was gonna ask you like how long of a period of time has it been
Yeah.
since the raid?
So, for your information, it's been just about a month since then now. So 2 red shifts have gone past since then. And the situation with those creatures is that they were cleaned up from around the fort. Oh, right. Everybody in this party is entitled to a single vial of poison from those bugs if they would like it. It can be applied to weapons or delivered directly. It counts as one dose or one like weapon coating. Um,
It's like a throwable, or
it's not a throw. Well, I guess you could throw it. It would probably be less effective that way, but it's one you can coat a blade in it, or
okay,
you
so
can coat
just
some
like
ammo
douse
in
my
it.
weapon. All right.
Yeah, and that'll last. It's basically like one encounter you get to use it for if you do that, and then it acts as a paralytic. So it will knock unconscious and paralyze the target rather than kill them.
And are there any resistances to that neutralize it?
Well, I'll tell you it does deal poison damage. So if the creature you try to use it on is immune to poison damage, or if they're immune to the poisoned condition overall, it just won't work. But
Okay.
Oh, so this vial doesn't even kill. It's a paralytic.
Yeah. So if you here, I can
So
show you the
you could just as easily say that we're doing like non-lethal damage once we cut our weapon, right?
exactly. Yeah, that's kind of the idea.
All right.
So let's see.
Niall will pass. Her vial can
Okay.
go to somebody else because she can deal poison as a cantrip.
Well, here, let me show you what it does, because this might change your mind. There, I put it in the Discord. I can go ahead and pop that in the roll 20 as well. So that's what you're looking at for one of those. So this could be something again. You might be able to like. I know at a certain point it was used to poison some food, some bait that was used to kill a couple of dire wolves. Um, that was done off screen, but
So I guess this is my question: if it's the poison that reduces them to 0, then they're paralyzed, or if
yes, yeah.
like
So if you reduce them to 0 hit points with that attack, that deals the poison damage,
yeah,
then the effect will occur.
all right. But if it's not the poison that does it, then they're just straight up dead.
Right. Yeah. Although if you did like 20 damage with your sword and also had the poison on it, we would count that.
Right. But
You,
that's what I mean. As long as the poison is on that turn, I guess.
yeah.
Okay.
Yep. That's how it works. And so Naya, are you still handing yours over to somebody else?
Yeah, somebody else can use it. Like I said, I can use it as a cantrip.
Okay.
And I don't use it very much because a lot of the stuff around here so far has been immune to poison or resistant, so I don't use it. But
Understood.
somebody else.
So
Who would like
I
it?
mean, Montlawn, do you want it? I mean, I don't really care who takes it.
I'm probably not going to use it, honestly. I mean, I'll take one vial, but
you've got yours, and you've also got a javelin already filled with a vial.
right, exactly. I was going to say that myself. Yeah.
All right. I do get a multiple attacks, so maybe it's better that I take it.
Okay, sure. So
More chances to poison.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. So let me add that to both of your guys.
Good deal.
You can add it to your character sheets, and I'll add it to your OneNote. Yeah. So that I can keep track of that. Oh, hey, there's something important I need to know. Naya and Montlawn, you're two of the last ones we're missing. What are your birthdays?
Uh,
I know your ages. I have your ages, but I need to know the date.
I gave you a date.
Oh dear, that's gonna have
You
to
did
take
give
some
me a date,
study.
sir.
I have no idea what I said.
you know, IRL, my birthday is 2 days from now. So what's 2 days from now in game?
That would be
Oh, good idea.
let me just double check. That would be. Well, do you want 2 days from real life, so the 9th, or do you want 2 days from the current day?
2 days from the current day.
All right, so that would be 17th of Awis.
Well, there we go.
Very well. So it's almost Montlarn's. I'll write that down. And let's see. So you were 63 when we started the game, which means you're currently. All right, you'll be 64 on that at that point.
Makes sense.
Ronku,
Okay.
your birthday is 18 Kadis next month. Naya. It's a number.
What is September correspond to?
The 9th month of the year is Lugaus.
How do I spell that?
Lugaus. Thank you for entertaining my shit lore.
And what is the meaning of that? Lugaus.
Do you mean as like a name?
Yeah, as in lore.
So every month of the creating an empire calendar was named after one of the sons of the emperor who made the calendar.
Oh yeah, you told me that.
Yeah, and every day of the week was named after one of his 10 daughters. So Lugaus, I believe the name of the son was Lugaid.
Is that particular son known for anything?
That's a great question. Would you like him to be?
We're making up stuff
Yeah.
on the fly, huh? I see
It's a
how
great
it goes.
question, as in I never even contemplated that question before.
Well, so for example, if I was going to go all lore-ish on the month of September, I would say it has to do with Virgo. And Virgo's qualities are humility and
Oh,
devotion
you want your like
and
in-game horoscope, is what we're saying.
right. If you're gonna go this far with it, then I want a damn horoscope.
This is unbelievably in character. Please continue. So
So-
what did Lugaid do? What's he known for?
You mean I gotta do this work? Jeez,
We
sir.
can do this work together.
Okay, so what comes before Lugaid? The name.
The actual name of the person is Malak.
Okay, that's an easy one to come up with stuff for. I'm gonna say that Lugaid is a tempering influence on Malak, where Malak can be arrogant and front forward to the point of irritation and attention hog, whatever you want to call that. Showman to the point of foolishness. Lugain is temperance. It is some modesty. It is some humility. It's a tempering influence on Malak. So as the suns follow throughout the year, we have this very flamboyant, outward, potentially foolish and arrogant Malak tempered by Lugain in the month of Lugaus.
Okay, I like this a lot. Thank you.
Okay.
That's
So
canon.
yeah, we need to pick up a day. I don't care. If you want to use a day that corresponds to actual birth date, pick the 15th.
Okay. Let's see. 15th would be that's actually the autumn equinox.
Okay, that'll work for Naya.
Okay.
And that puts a little bit of a star on her for great
Yeah,
things.
we have a lot of equinox babies in this party actually.
Well, we're all special.
Yeah.
Special. So there you go. I did your work for you.
Thanks very much.
Anytime.
So that yep. Okay, so Naya's 25 right now. Great.
She's still 25?
She's still 25. Yeah, I had you guys
Because we've
have
been in here for a year and she was
yeah. So
25 when we
I had
started.
your I think I asked everyone about it. I might not have asked you directly, but I asked most people about it, and we basically came to the conclusion that the ages that you wrote down on your character sheets would be the age you were going to be the year we started. Essentially,
Okay.
just to make everybody consistent.
Okay, that works.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's see. Do you share your birthday with anyone? I'm curious. You're in the same month as Maisie and Mercutio. That's all you got.
And what's the name of her date?
Oh, the actual day. You're right, because that doesn't change year to year.
No.
The 15th is Laranas every month.
How do I spell that?
Larenas.
Okay.
And the daughter's name was simply Laren.
Okay, so you'll notice if you know anything about astrology that I completely stole the lore that I gave you and I ripped it off of astrology. Where Virgo is a tempering influence to Leo. Totally ripped it off.
That's fine. None of my lore is new.
What about the daughter? What did she do? No one ever asks about the girl.
It's because he hasn't made it up yet. If he hasn't made up the son, he hasn't made up the daughter.
Wow.
Am I right?
Well, I mean, Lauren was
See?
probably like the second boldest of the daughters, and did probably the least likely to enjoy being a princess. Is that the
That
correct name for
fits.
an emperor's daughter?
I
Princess?
think so. I don't know. Something like that. I
Um,
would Google it. That's all.
yeah, she would have been the most likely, perhaps outside of Ida, to be the loner. And
Okay, well, that'll work.
yeah. Okay.
Naya was always the weird one.
That is true. So I was gonna pull us over to the quest board before I got super distracted by that. So we can discuss this, but we can also discuss what you all have been doing in your downtime. So I'm assuming we're all starting in Fort Maricus this time around as usual, but that can change to you.
I'm certainly fine with starting in the fort.
Yeah, I mean that's where I left off.
Okay.
Oh shoot! I just lost my my window for things.
For which
Yeah,
thing?
I meant to ask you like what happens if like two people, like everyone from the group is starting in different places.
It went
So
back.
basically, because we play on week off week, there's time in between each to say like your character whatever they were doing last week, they could have just come back during the break in the Redshift. So it's a little retconny, but we could just be like, oh yeah, last time my character went from here to here, so that we could do this quest together.
Right. It's like up. We just beat the Redshift home.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I can hit long rest, right?
Oh yes, if nobody's hit long rest, please hit long rest. Thank you. Uh oh. You know what, Montlarin, I have to take away your downtime benefits. And I'll tell you why after Naya and Ronku tell me what downtime benefits they would like.
Oh, so a month. Probably just keep
Well,
studying under.
yeah, we'll give you 15 days to account for the time you would have spent doing other missions.
Okay, so that I'll just add 15 to undercommon.
Sure thing. Yeah, let me go get that for you. Hey, you're almost done. Actually, adding 15 to that puts you at 55 out of 60 days learning from Albus Tabor,
I know.
the Undercommon language.
So close.
Making progress.
Ugh. And then it's on to the next language.
We have a librarian now, so you'll get plenty of those from her. And Naya, what would you like to do?
Well, I think I assumed that we were back at Fort Maricus from Keep Silex.
Yep, so you've got access to all of the facilities and everything.
Naya learned a particular kind of meditation during her time with the Druids when she was deeply involved in Druid practices. And she has spent a lot of her downtime in meditation. It is not like other meditations. I mean, it's not, she doesn't know. She can't assume. But it doesn't put her into any kind of a trance like Montlarin seems to do. Um, but she spent quite a bit of time. It's been quiet, relatively quiet. And the sounds around the fort have been very consistent. So there's not been a lot of screaming and yelling and stuff, you know. There's a lot of construction work going on, and the pounding of nails is
Yes.
kind of relaxing. It's just in the background, and she can meditate with that real easily. So she's been spending quite a lot of her downtime doing that meditation, and it attunes her um, more to her druid practices, and she also feels like it attunes her more to the obelisks and the potential that they have within them, which we have. She feels like we have not tapped the potential in those obelisks, and she probably needs to talk to Decus, but she doesn't really know what to say because she doesn't have any insight yet into what hasn't been tapped.
Uh-huh.
It also feels like she's closer to grandmother, and she likes that a lot.
And then like 3 hours of that pass on a given day.
Yeah.
Very
And then the
relaxing.
rest of it is doing her typical rounds, you know.
Yeah.
She talks to Clark and she talks to Soriana and she talks to everybody and she makes, you know, she fulfills her connections and things. And she plays a little bit with Ruby.
I was going to
Um
comment that midway through your meditation, you just feel gnawing on your horn.
oh yes, Ruby's reliable.
He doesn't let you fall asleep.
No. That's good. He's a good wake-up call. He's a sweet little mischievous guy.
And
Keeps
if
you on
he's
your
not,
toes.
He
if
does
he's
keep me on my toes, but he keeps everybody else more on their toes.
yeah, if he's not riding on your head, he's chasing Sophia around the fort usually.
hmm Naya very much likes that he and Sophia get along like a house fire. She thinks that's just great. And she's happy he's got somebody to actually play with when she's not around, because it's dangerous for him to go and, you know, be in battle and stuff. And there's been a
Yeah.
lot of that lately. And that's what she kind of felt the need to do meditation. It's been a lot of battle.
Yeah, he'll sometimes accompany you on less dangerous missions, like if you're just doing something that's like an escort, um, or helping gather supplies. He'll usually tag along, just because it sounds fun.
Yeah, it would have been a fun one to bring him to go see Tilda.
Oh, definitely. Always next
We
time.
had some battle there too. Didn't
Not
we?
too
On the
bad.
way?
Did we have a fight on the way?
There was the trap,
On the way.
with the grass things, but we got through that. Fought a couple
Yeah, that wasn't
boars.
so much a monster. He would have been fine.
Ah, okay. I never quite know when it's okay to like mention Ruby's with us or not.
Well, I would say if you want Ruby to come with, offer it when we leave, and we can decide.
Okay.
Okay. So Naya, please go ahead and take a mental D4 for your efforts.
Oh, cool.
And Montlarin, so you've had your whole downtime deal with Dex that we kind of role played in the yard channel.
Yep.
But the reason you are not allowed to have downtime activity is because for the past week you have been suffering from just horrid symptoms of something like a flu.
Oh no.
No, that was me.
Oh
Go
no.
ahead, sorry.
So you've been even question, does Montlarin lie down in a bed when he trances at any point?
Not usually, no.
He usually sits.
Yeah.
Okay. So in that case, I would say you've been breaking out of your trances halfway through in feverish sweats. You've been having difficulty keeping food down. Um, you've just been kind of like shaky in general. Um, it's not good.
That sounds unpleasant.
Yeah. I probably would have talked to Sariana about it.
She'll examine you. Absolutely. That is her primary job after all. But basically, yeah. Now, Montlarin, I do feel the need to remind player of Montlarin that that I feel like Montlarin would know this.
Right. Yeah. That's one of the reasons I would bring this up immediately, because
Yeah.
getting sick isn't a thing he does.
Not to mention, elves are kind of immune to all that.
Well, not really. They're still susceptible to sickness. An elf with a cold is not particularly unusual. Especially with if you take the most pompous self-entitled elf and throw him into a human city, he's probably gonna be a mess for like a week.
Right. Just kind of miserable.
But yeah. So I mean, the fact that the fact that you basically haven't even sniffled in the past year ever since taking your vows and getting that divine power. And this is it's not the worst disease you've ever felt, or symptoms you've ever felt, but it's pretty bad. So Soriana does a gamut of pretty simplistic tests on you, and she's not sure of um, the symptoms. She'll give you a concoction that you can mix together with your rations that'll like settle your stomach and help you eat. But she says that'll just help that part. It might go away on its own, but if you want, I could take a bit of blood and do some tests on that. I might be able to see if there's anything bad infecting you.
Yeah. I mean, I've been giving it away anyway, so.
Great. She produces a needle and jabs you, and she'll take a sample of
Oh
your
God,
blood.
scientists.
Yeah, I mean, presumably in my downtime, I also would have tried to lay hands on myself too. I'm guessing that didn't work either.
Yeah, not a thing.
Was it ineffective, or did it literally not happen?
It was ineffective. Yeah, you're still able to use lay on hands, and you feel that after the help Sariana gave you, you feel like you're still kind of out of it, but you think you can probably manage an expedition or two, and hopefully getting out and maybe taking a hike will clear whatever's rolling around in your head.
This
Okay.
happened after Decca started working on a portal spell.
No, actually, this would have been just a couple days after you all got back, after the
Okay.
first wave.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's the situation with Montlarin now.
I just press on and keep an eye on that.
Now, what would everybody like to do today? Now that we can finally start Dungeons and Dragons.
So we both of our missions seems to be for the apothecary. I don't particularly care which one.
I'm seeing 4 of them.
I'll do one.
I'm actually interested in the 2-star and the 4-star more than I am the
Oh,
3s.
I thought the stars were to delineate like how big the group is supposed to be.
Well, air quotes around supposed to be. You guys can do whatever you want. But these are just some guidance for you.
They're like
Oh,
ratings, kind of.
Difficulty levels.
Okay, well in that case, I don't care what we do.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious about that map myself, though it might be a
Yeah.
breeze for us.
We've had so much combat lately. I'm not opposed to a breeze.
That's perfectly fair. All right then.
And especially since we just left Keep Silex, I mean, if we were still in Keep Silex, then the 4-star one sounds really interesting. But we just left there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
So you can meet with the brigadier to get the details on this one, and she will well, she has the map that was discovered. It's actually a stone tablet that was found,
Oh, fascinating.
and it portrays an area of the Redshift zone that you all live in, and actually is like sort of recognizable. And on the map, uh, just help you guys out with this. All right, roll 20. Don't disappear those tokens. That would be great. Um, on the map, you see a river west of a lake, which is south and west of a forest. And in the middle of the lake, there's an island, and on that island is a marker of some sort.
Interesting.
That bears some resemblance to the lake up north.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a pretty sure thing, and Dex and Van and the Brigadier have all come to a similar conclusion. Um, they want to send out a team to investigate whatever that is. Um, some of the scouts that have been up there have traversed the edges of the lake. They've noticed the existence of an island in the middle of the lake. It's a pretty big lake. Also, like it's like something like 30 miles wide or so. Um, and but so far it hasn't been of any import to get there. If it's signified for some reason, she says it. Uh, Whoever made this tablet probably thought it was important. It might be worth taking a look.
Do they have any idea how old this tablet is? Or who might
Uh,
have written on it or created the map?
well, it is a bit like it's sort of a fragment. You can tell of something larger, and the team that found it didn't find anything else alongside it, so they figure it must have been broken or taken from somewhere else at some point, and then left where they found it. But
Well, that
unfortunately,
leads to the next question. Where did they find it?
they would have found it um, somewhere, I think, up here in the hills.
So relatively close to that lake.
Yeah. Um, and so it unfortunately doesn't have any writing on it. Um, but just and obviously we don't quite have carbon dating, um, but just examining it uh, suggests and just logical thinking. Obviously, it's at least 1,000 years old. Um, could be older. It's not. Uh, it's not crumbling to the degree that it's been weathered to the point that it shouldn't exist anymore. So it can't be all that old beyond 1,000. Um, although who knows if this is even man-made? It could even be made by the Redshift.
I think at this point I would call that highly unlikely. There's a randomness to Redshift created things that doesn't sound like a map.
Indeed, and that is true a majority of the time. So, if you'd like to take a look, we've had a few. Well, we've had Alvis Taver, in fact, scribe a few copies of this. So, if you'd like to take one and uh, head in that direction, I think well, we'll help you find something good there.
Cool.
It's
Uh,
going to take us
yeah, it looks like
three
it's
and a
about.
half or so days to get there.
I was thinking more like 5.
I was counting 5 hex a day.
Yeah. Hang on. Let me go grab one of my books that I need real quick. So,
I mean, just following the river
yeah,
so
give me
that we
about
have
2
fresh
minutes.
water. I've gone ahead and turned on Goodberry. I believe we're starting spring, so the chance of finding berries is much higher. So I think we'll only get 3 or 4 rations out of the fort.
In theory, I could buy more if we needed. I feel like we might want to get a cart or something, though.
Yeah, I agree. We also might be able to get more from Grandmother's Grove.
Yeah, or we could maybe even stop and keep Ignis.
All right. Now, I too got some fresh water. One thing I'd like to remind the party of is that we do have access to mounts and riding gear at this point in the game.
Yeah, we were actually
We
just
do?
discussing that.
Oh, good.
Oh,
Can we afford it?
how does that work?
Well, let's see. A riding horse is 75 gold. I believe riding horse.
Wait, they're making us buy these? You think that us going out on missions it'd be like rent a horse at least?
Well, this is a scouting mission. If it was carrying stuff for making an obelisk, then they probably would send a cart with us.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you preferred renting a horse, and yeah, riding horses are definitely available.
I can afford one, but I don't think I want to do it.
Oh, yeah, you can. It's only for like an hour that you can turn into. I was gonna say you could like turn into an elk and just run.
Right.
Could a
Uh,
horse would a horse be considered like a low enough tier animal to be a familiar? No, I'm guessing that.
No, unfortunately, familiars can only be small.
Can we
Oh,
rent a cart from the fort? I mean, is that
Um,
possible?
well, let's see. I mean, a cart holds up to 200 pounds. So I
Okay,
think if
so
you're
that's
talking
about
about,
like a disc.
I think if you're talking about riding, like, are you talking about one you'd want to ride?
No, one to throw
Oh,
stuff in.
oh, okay. Yeah, a cart can carry up to 200 pounds. I think the disc doesn't go up to 300 or 500. I don't know. But I mean,
Well, we'd have to rent a cart and a horse.
cart's only 15 gold. And then yeah, a horse. Well, a draft horse is cheaper than a riding horse. think a
I
draft
mean,
horse.
Naya's always encumbered, so
Right. Horse not in here. Why is the handbook so bad about this? It lists creatures and then it doesn't actually. I think a draft horse must be 1/4.
well, I'd be up for chipping in for a draft horse and a cart to carry our crap.
Yeah, I feel similarly.
But if I'm the only one encumbered, then you guys might want to not do that. That's fine.
Draft horse is 50 gold P.
Yep.
And you said a cart is 15, so it's 65 total.
Yeah. Well, probably a mule would work too, right?
Yeah.
Better than a draft horse. Same speed. A mule's only 8 gold pieces for whatever reason. This is all in the player's handbook, by the way, page 157.
Thank you,
Yeah,
sir.
I've got it up on my stream right now. Actually.
At least you're not spitballing.
Okay, so 58 divided by 3 is about 27, 28 gold each. I'm happy to chip in. What do you say, you guys?
Yeah, though I think we should get a wagon and a mule rather than a cart.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
a wagon can hold quite a bit more.
Can a mule pull a wagon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll put in a third of whatever that is.
Okay, me too.
All right, so that's 43. So
Well, that's pretty cheap.
It's like 14 gold each.
yeah, I'll just say 14 each is fine.
Whew, getting just under the wire there.
We'll
I
we'll
had 20.
save
I had 20 gold.
save you guys a gold.
So
What have you been spending your money on, Ronku?
I've just been putting it into.
Oh yeah, you have.
Yeah, I've just been
Everybody
like.
else is hoarding.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm like, here, take all my money. I just need drinking money. That's all I need.
Sorry.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's fine.
Yeah, I got Soriano to level 2 last time, or maybe it was her
thank you
first level even.
for
I
doing
don't know.
so.
Well, if you need money, hit us up, because some of us are just sitting on it.
Oh yeah.
Not the wizards though. They'll scream at you.
No, Nimbus is always broke. Because it costs so much to do that.
Right, because he's always buying some rare material.
Right.
All right. So you.
I'd
So
also like to
can
buy 20 days of feed, I think.
Oh yeah, that's an excellent idea. Yeah. So they'll do the usual thing for you, where they'll provide like the 3 days of feed for your critter, but
we're gonna need more than that.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, at least another 7 days worth, so there's 10 days.
You gotta give them feed. Damn.
Yep.
I thought
it's
they
five.
can't.
It's
Dumb mule
5
doesn't know how to
copper.
graze.
5 copper a piece. Well, I mean, I guess.
50 copper is not the end of the world.
Yeah.
All right. And I'm carrying honey. Is Ruby coming with?
He can if you want.
Okay.
How many gold is in? Like, is it 100 to 100 to 100?
It's 10 to 10 to 10. So 10 copper is 1 silver, 10 silver is 1 gold. 100 copper is 1 gold. So yeah, 50 copper is half of a gold.
Okay. And how many rations do we get from the fort?
You get 3.
Okay.
I'd like to buy some more.
Sure. Go right ahead.
Do you remember
Thanks
how
for
much
the vote
that
of
cost?
confidence there, Montlaurent.
What was that?
Do you remember how much that? Well, if we have the wagon, I figure why worry about it. That way you don't need to use Goodberry. How much are they?
Rations, I believe, are 5 silver apiece. 2 pounds.
Okay, I'll do the same.
All right. So 2 for 1 gold. Would anybody else like to buy anything else before we go? Now, we should ask, do you all have any intentions of crossing this lake and how you plan to do it?
No, I don't yet, but I did wonder if we should pick up the second quest. It's a 2-star because Soriano is looking for water breathing potion.
Well, she
Probably
was looking
relevant.
for she was looking for some stuff called Hydra Thistle.
So we should probably look for Hydra Thistle while we're at it.
Well, that won't
Sure.
solve our immediate problem, though. Like, she would
No, it
need
will
time
not.
to make a potion. Would our right be able to fashion a canoe?
Yeah. Oh, hold on. Actually, before you buy that wagon, I do have some limitation. Sort of stuff that you get. Current level times 10 would be 10 GP price. I might need to change that one. Actually, I didn't think too hard about that one. I think because that would mean that we can't even get a cart yet from the right, which is unfortunate. Yeah.
Ah.
No. Yeah. Let's go ahead and make that current level times 20, or maybe 25 might be ideal.
For what now?
Well, I've got to I've got to put some limitations. I've got to edit our limitations on what you can buy from the right. So in actuality, you cannot currently buy a wagon from the right. Too expensive for a level 1 right. So
Can we borrow one from the fort, like rent it out?
I would say not for this expedition.
Okay.
So the 15 gold cart is what we'll have to go with. So if you all want to take back your 14 gold and instead split a 23, then we can do that.
So like 7.5 each.
Yeah, you could just go with 7 if you want.
Cool.
Okay, yeah. I mean, at this point, she is heavily encumbered, so she needs a cart. Between rations for 9 days, 8 days.
Okay. So you now have a mule and a cart. Cart can hold 200 pounds of stuff.
Okay.
A rowboat, unfortunately, is not feasible until right level 2.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is a scouting party, so
Maybe we'll find
can
a way
any of us
across there.
swim?
I can swim. But that looks pretty far out.
It is pretty far. You might be able to make something.
Okay, Naya's also going to buy 2 lengths of rope.
Okay. And Naya and Montlarin, if you'd like to
How much does that cost?
prepare your spells. The gold. Perfect.
Working for
Please.
I'm gonna disconnect and reconnect. You're all robot voice to me right now.
I can't hear you. Oh, yeah, it is.
Okay. 50 feet of hempen rope is 1 gold, 10 pounds.
Okay. She's got way too much crap.
Oh, you could toss it in the cart.
Yep, I plan to.
Good. What's the name of your mule?
Harold.
Okay.
Sorry, that's the first thing that popped into my mind.
Well, it's canon now, and you can't change it.
Okay. Hey, we have a skeleton horse named Clark, and a mule named Harold.
Sure, why
It's all
not?
good.
I was going to remind you that you can prepare your spell if you'd like to change any of them.
Interesting.
Did you guys know a elephant mount is only 200 gold pieces, which is half the price of a warhorse?
Wow.
Sorry, I did it again.
That's
Wait,
fine.
really? That's crazy.
Thanks, Player's Handbook.
Okay, to update, I have removed Goodberry and added Animal Friendship.
Okay, great.
Just FYI.
All right. Well, we're ready to go. So, you guys said you were planning on going upriver?
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Okay. Feel free to go right ahead.
Do we need to roll?
Well, hold on 1 second, because it has been long enough, and I should make some updates to this map. But I think it would be valid for there to be, at this point, a charted path between Fort Maricus and Keeping.
Oh, good.
So why don't I go ahead and put one there now? We'll
I'm
go
okay with
like
this.
this. So just taking a look at this, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. So considering the extra speed this charted path would grant you, we'd say you'd be able to get there in 3 days, no problem.
Okay.
If you wanted.
Efficiency.
Do we need to roll for encounters on the road?
On the path, we'll do it once per day.
What do I need to roll?
We should have the
Encounter
macro
button.
quick bar encounter check button.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, once every 4 hexes will do. Fortunately, your first day near the fort is uneventful. You camp out for the night. You handle your mule, your new friend, and things are easy enough. Ranku, you're getting all crackly.
Okay, I have a tent. Does Montlarin and Ranku have a tent? Otherwise, I'll share.
Tents are 2 people.
Yep.
Yeah, presumably one of us is on watch, so.
She's a big dragonborn, but there's room for 2.
I have a backpack. That's what I have. I have the
Well,
clothes
so
on
you
my.
can sleep under the tent there. Montlarin, you're SOL for tonight.
Well, I only need 4 hours of trance. I don't actually need to.
Okay, and
That's
everybody
true,
use a
6.
ration.
Yeah, thank you.
I used to sleep in the woods, so I'm not. I'm crawling
It's
up next to a
summertime.
tree. Yeah,
Yeah,
crawling
you
up next
got-
to
you
a
got-
tree is not. It's not. It's par for the course for.
Ranku, what's your class?
I'm a
I don't remember. Sorry.
I'm a warrior, but I have as part of my background, it's what was it? Was it wanderer? What was it? Do you remember?
Oh, do you have the
Oh,
wanderer thing?
hermit. I have hermit.
Okay, I was gonna be like, Wanderer is OP as hell. You should write that on your character sheet, by the way.
Yeah, I
Background
have it
section.
written. I have the Hermit Discovery.
Cool. Awesome.
So yeah, I lived
All
in the
right.
woods for a
Does Ruby
couple
sleep
years.
in the tent with us, or does he go out and do whatever?
No. He doesn't like flying around in the dark. He's
Okay.
definitely in the tent.
Smart Ruby.
Yeah. Um. Okay.
Okay, well, so just a heads up, if you find something gnawing on your hair or your ear in the morning, it's just Ruby.
He'll claw like a cat sometime. But the night passes uneventfully. Montlarin, I'm going to need you to make a Constitution saving throw today, as you wake up.
All right.
Oh, good.
You feel adequate today.
Excellent. Well, middling.
Yeah. Um, roughly normal, kind of like off center.
Sufficient.
So you all can continue onward. Again, we'll do one encounter check per day on the road.
Alrighty.
All right, I did the last one.
I can do this one.
All right, another peaceful, sunny day, trekking through the grasslands. You all have been this way and back quite a few times, I think, by now. You give the whole hive over to the west a large berth, even though you know it's long gone. And again, your next evening passes eventfully.
Okay, use a ration.
Yes, please. And like I said, the next day we can just say that the time on the road gave you enough speed to get to the keep by nightfall this time around. So we'll do one more encounter check, then you'll be there, and I will need Montlarin to do another Constitution saving throw every morning.
How did Montlarin get cooties?
It's a good question.
I mean, it could have been any of us, I suppose.
Today, Montlarin, you are suffering one level of exhaustion.
Uh-oh. It's a shitty day.
Ronku, would you like to take a roll at the encounter check button?
Sure.
Cool. Let's see what we get. Nothing. Nothing happens.
Boom. That is kind of a bad roll to just waste right there, but sure.
Yeah, the waste. You'll never get a 17 again.
Nope.
Um,
Watch.
So
I'm gonna get killed by rats now.
you arrive at the hills, where this keep, previously belonging to Morio, has since been retaken. The doors have been repaired, and inside sits a smaller obelisk that protects the whole fort from the Redshift. There are a few commission members living here now, and oh, excellent, Aya. And mostly they're just staging expeditions out kind of to the north and the west. People going east as well, trying to get their way toward the tower. It's a lot more active here than it is at Grandmother's Grove, since they don't have to worry about dealing with the pixie citizens and everything.
Has anybody from Keep Ignis gone scouting around the lake? And
They
who's in
have.
charge at Keep Ignis?
There's actually a commission captain here, Captain Lyra. She is a crag dwarf. She's
Oh, I spent time with the dwarves.
kind of tall for a dwarf. She's got the loose slate colored shaggy hair and long beard that's common for the the uh, the mountain dwarves, uh, as they are, and but she is like she's a person that you all would be familiar with working in the commission. She would have been a person who stood out as a leader more so than a expeditionist during her time here, and she was selected to be the captain of Keep Ignis, as a promotion of sorts. So now
Cool.
she basically has the brigadier's job, but over here. Um, so yeah, she'll greet you as you arrive, and
Yeah, I'd love to have a meeting with her. I imagine we all would want to meet with her, ask questions, check things out. I mean, we are here on a scouting mission, so we're going to want to get up to date on current information in terms of what her scouts have reported. We're days from Fort Maricus, so
right. So she's familiar with the map actually, because it was some of the people from here that found it in the first place and delivered it. So she'll say basically as you describe your quest to her. Um, oh, good. Demira sent a team to come investigate. Uh, well, we can help you get there, and I can tell you what we know about the lake. Uh, but what have you learned about it so far?
not much. It's bigger than we thought. Um, and we are looking for ways to navigate the lake. They didn't have anything at Fort Maricus like a canoe or a rowboat. So I didn't know if you all had anything up here since you're that much closer to it. Um, things with which we could build a raft. Anything like that, where we could perhaps make something to be able to navigate the lake safely.
Oh, we did have a few expeditionists put together a something they called makeshift. Um, they said they didn't see any reason to bring it back with them, so they beached it uh,
At the lake,
nearby.
that's
Yes,
very that would be very helpful. Do you have any idea of the location where they beached it?
right around here.
Awesome. That's a day's journey from here or less.
Yes. Well, if it's still there, you're welcome to borrow it.
Awesome.
If not, we could probably build one.
Yeah, I brought extra rope just in case. If we need to lash together wood to make a raft.
Right.
But if there's already something built, that would be terrific.
Indeed.
It'll save a lot of time.
Anything else we can help you with while you're here?
I'm curious, and this is just a curiosity point, um, if there is much converse between Keep Ignis and Grandmother's Grove, and what kind of communication that involves.
Only a little bit. I haven't actually visited the Dryad myself. One or two of my subordinates might have. Uh, I recall some of them coming back from there to here to join in. Um, well, not that they're my subordinates, but you know what I mean. Um, but I understand that she keeps to herself, and Demira has an understanding with her. Uh, so we try not to bother her.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Anything else y'all want to do at Ignis before we head out?
I kind of just want to get going.
Okay. They will fill up your rations back to 3 for you if you ask.
Yeah, sure.
That would be very helpful.
And with that, the next day you can get on your way.
Are hills difficult terrain? Like, are they double hexes?
No, not these hills.
Cool. I think in the rotation we're back to you now.
They're more rolling than anything. Yeah, I think what we'll do is you guys will get your 1 free hex, and then the second hex will be an encounter check, and then we'll be at the lake, so we won't.
My bad, I was typing it out.
Oh, that's fine. So yeah, you'd be up here by now, or up there, whichever. So actually, Naya, I'm gonna ask you to hit that encounter button.
Figured with a 2.
Let's see what happens. Okay.
Sorry, guys.
Without warning, a the sky suddenly grows dark with clouds, and you hear thunder, and you see snaps of lightning. And before you have a chance to ready yourselves, you see lightning strike 1 and then 2 and then 3 spots within like a mile of you. And you think there's going to be more.
Is it striking anything like trees or
It
rocks
is
or something?
striking everything.
Okay.
It's a guy that wears
And you
metal
guys
armor. That's
are
distressing.
relatively out in the open.
Okay. So we need to look for low ground. If there's any kind of a natural ditch or dip, we need to look for low ground. Take shelter where you can. If you have a shield, use it to cover your head. Montlarin, if you need help, let us know.
Oh yeah, Montlarin, can you make your con save for today?
Oh yeah.
You
I
might
wasn't
not be
thinking about
exhausted
that. I
anymore.
was thinking of his one arm.
Okay, you're not exhausted anymore.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, okay. So, Naya, if you're looking for low ground or a place to hide, I would ask you to make a survival check or maybe a perception check if you like. The best you can see at this point is a dip in the hills that kind of like squeezes you between a narrow section where there are a few boulders that you might be able to kind of bury yourselves between.
Okay. What about the trees to the east?
So
Are they close enough to
when you
be
made this
useful?
roll, you were over here.
Oh, okay. Okay. So where was it? Can you ping it?
What, the storm?
Oh, it's within
No,
the same hex.
Yeah,
it's in the same hex. Okay.
yeah, it's on your head.
So I'm going to suggest that we go to that dip in the ground. It's our best shot for avoiding lightning is to stay as low to the ground as possible.
Yeah,
Unless
actually,
somebody has a better idea.
are we gonna try to wait this out? Is that the plan?
It's upon you, so outrunning it seems like it might be a challenge.
The alternative would be to clamber underneath the cart.
Yeah, okay. Well, I was gonna suggest that, but also, before we head down into lower ground, I'd like to take my longsword and like plant it at the top of the hill,
Okay.
Ooh, okay.
I hope you have a sword when we get back.
Yeah.
All right. I jump in the hole.
Yeah. Otherwise, I'm gonna take refuge under that third card.
Yeah. Okay. And I mean, maybe we could move the cart so that it's covering the hole, even. A little bit more room for everybody. But
You can
the
kind
poor
of like
mule
wedge
is
it.
gonna just have to suck it up.
um. Yeah. Okay. So I would like everybody to make a dexterity saving throw, but do it with advantage, please. Oh,
Thank God for advantage.
Yay,
cool.
us!
All right.
What's advantage plus mean?
Advantage plus rolls 3 dice and takes the highest. It's not a rules legal thing. It's just on
Oh,
that
okay.
character
Never
sheet. I don't
mind.
know
I
what.
was just
Yeah.
curious.
Oh, Discord. Come on. Discord. Thanks. Um. So, thanks to a combination. No, it's still. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, perfect.
Oh, okay. It's going red for me. Red bars on Discord, but let me know if it gets bad. Um.
Yeah, mine is yellow at the moment.
There we go. I guess it's servers. Thanks to a combination of Naya's quick thinking and Montlaren's uh, forethought with the sword, um, he was able to attract all the lightning in the area to that point, and you all were safe from the rainless torrent of thunder that struck all around the hills and then roiled onward to the west, just kind of passing you by. 20 minutes later, it's gone.
Does Montlaran have a sword? I've seen the
Uh,
result of a lightning strike. So.
yeah, I think we got to call that a -1 sword now.
Uh-oh.
That's fine. I can always
Uh-oh.
replace it later.
I know, but we're just starting out.
Yeah, I've also got
I don't
a.
have an extra. I'm sorry, but maybe does it make sense to go back to Keep Ignis and get one?
No, we'll be fine.
Okay.
He's a tank anyway.
Well, I know, but okay, whatever.
Lawrence never hit a monster in his life.
That's fairly true.
um, with that out of the way, though, you all managed to make it to the lake shore. So what would you like to do here?
Do we
What
see
time of
the
day is
makeshift
it?
raft?
Well, you see something. Um,
It's not encouraging.
you see a raft shaped or a canoe shaped uh tree trunk, as
Oh, I
though
like
a
it. That's clever.
tree grew like into and around a raft. But this is a tall, like 30-foot tree. That it has like a. It's like a perfectly normal. Here, you know what? I'm gonna just draw it for you because I'm trying to convey something. Um, so you've got. Can you guys see the map right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've got like a tree. It goes up. Then you've got like a raft, a canoe, and then it continues going up with branches and stuff. Seamlessly. It's in the tree.
Hmm.
Well then.
Okay, so wait a minute.
Probably.
What they had when they started was a
Was a boat.
makeshift canoe,
It had a boat.
and what we have now is a canoe in a tree. Compliments of the Redshift.
A boat-shaped tree.
Okie dokie.
Probably easier just to build a raft.
Yeah, I'm not big on cutting down trees anyway. Um, so yeah, I think there's probably enough wood laying around, especially on a beach here where we have some maybe driftwood or something like it,
Sure,
where
I
we
mean
can
you're kind of
scrabble together
adjacent to a
something
forest.
that'll produce a bit of a raft. The challenge is actually going to be the long pole that can, or paddles maybe,
Hmm.
multiples, that can get us so we could steer the thing.
All right. So can I ask you guys a few questions about that then? What kind of tool proficiencies do you all have, if any?
What does that mean?
On your proficiencies section, do you have any
I got
tools?
crap. I got a herbalism kit and a chess set.
Okay.
So
Uh,
she's got some strategic knowledge, but she doesn't have anything.
yep. Gaming dice.
Herbalism kit.
All right. Those will all come in handy for building a raft.
They
So,
will.
no. I think what we're going to do is I want you each to tell me what you are going to do to try to create this raft, and then we're going to translate that into, uh, by default, a survival skill check.
Okay. What
Um,
time of day is it?
well, you get here in the afternoon, so it's probably going to take you the rest of the day to get this thing built.
Okay.
Um, uh, but again, depending on your description, survival skill check will just be the default, and we'll be aiming for a certain
Okay.
DC that I have set in my brain just now.
Well, I'm thinking we don't need anything much bigger than a 6 by 6 foot raft. We can leave the rest on the beach in the cart
Right.
with the mule, theoretically.
Right. I mean,
I
if
have
there's any rope left
two
over, we
50-foot
can.
lengths of rope. Hopefully, somebody else has some rope. Um, so we ought to be able to theoretically find enough dropped wood around. If we all go out for half an hour, 40 minutes, go out, find all the wood that we can, come back, and then makeshift together some kind of a 6 by 6 foot raft. And
Why
then we
not?
strap it together.
Why not just cut this tree down and take the canoe?
I don't have a saw
I don't have a saw either, and I'm not a
or,
fan of
or
cutting
an
a
axe,
tree.
to be clear. I
But
mean, I have my sword, but that's just going to make
it's
me
Yeah,
on
sad.
a
that's
minus
not a
one
tree
sword.
cutting sword.
I have 2 hand axes and my halberd. So
Well,
Hand
we might
axes.
need you to chop down some of the wood that we find to get it to be the right size to fit a roughly 6 by 6 foot
Yeah,
raft.
hand axes would be pretty okay for getting through a like a thick branch, but
not a
probably
tree.
not as good for getting through like a 6 foot tree trunk.
Fair, fair. Okay, we'll go with that plan then. We'll
Okay,
go with the
so that's what I would suggest is that we all run around for 40 minutes and see what scrounging we can do with regard to wood.
Right.
And
fair.
meet at the beach, come back together and see what we can lash together for a
Right.
raft.
So yeah, preferably 6 feet long, relatively relatively
Right.
straight wood. So like maybe young trees
I'd
or
only
big
caution
branches.
Montlaran to not exhaust himself doing it. Maybe take this time to rest and we'll have you do the lashing.
I've only got one hand.
Okay. So,
He's the worst one for
whatever you're
lashing.
comfortable doing, just don't exhaust yourself.
I can swing a sword and whack at some wood. So
Okay.
I'll go look for wood.
All right. Can everybody make a survival check? In that case, no advantages. All right, we got a 17. That's good. We got a 2.
That's about expected.
We got a 17. All right. Good job, Ronku and Naya. Montlaran, you are not much help. You get pretty woozy, like as soon as you start going, and you could just kind of nope out of the whole ordeal at some point. By the time they get back, you're feeling a little bit better, but you haven't been able to help them collect anything. However, between Naya and Ronku's efforts, plus using the mule and the wagon to help tote the wood around, you all have enough that you think you'd be able to build a raft out of.
Cool.
Yeah, turns out dragging a 6-foot log with one arm isn't the best way of doing things.
Yeah.
Right. Can't say I'm surprised, but I'm glad he stopped while he still could.
So you all spend the evening and whatever time you have during your rest putting this thing together, and by morning time, it'll be ready. So we've passed another day. So I would like everybody to consume one of their rations, and Montlarin to make another saving throw. You're fine.
Excellent.
Okay, could we have something other than a pink tree to look at?
What would you like to look at? I mean, soon.
The map.
What? Oh, that's true. We are going to need a little bit of the map. Sure. Let's go over there.
Thank you.
Oh, I haven't had the thing where it like flashes the whole map at me after unloading the tokens lately. That's nice. Are you guys seeing that anymore?
Yeah, it
Not
still
really.
happens for me.
Oh, okay. Great.
It's just for a second.
Yeah, and they never unblur, but
And there's no context. It's just, I mean, at least for me, there's no context. So I might be looking at something, but I don't know where it
Oh,
fits
yeah.
in the map. And
Yeah,
so,
I know it's fine. It's just, roll 20s. We're good. All right. So, thanks to the fact that the lake is flat, you guys can see the island on the horizon. Are you ready to get on this raft and try to go there?
indeed.
well, I think we ought to test the raft. But yeah. Also, do we need to cart it a little bit further northeast to be closer to the island before we actually step on?
Would you like to?
Yes.
Well, so
I mean, we seem pretty much equidistant.
yeah,
Oh,
you're
okay.
roughly equidistant, and carting a raft you've already built on land seems like it might even take a little while longer
Yeah, okay, that's kind of dumb.
than just getting on.
Okay.
So you shove the raft onto the calm waters, and it floats.
Yay!
It does not go down.
Woo.
Who's going to be the first person to climb on?
Naya will. She's the biggest.
Okay. You get up on there. It sloshes around back and forth for a moment, but you kind of get stable after a bit, and it seems like it'll hold your weight just fine.
Okay. Do we have a pole or some paddles or something?
I would assume you built some kind of paddle or got like
Okay.
a thick flat branch at some point in your efforts.
Okay. All right. We'll leave the rest of our stuff and the mule and the cart at the beach and scope this out.
Okay, let's
Once we
go.
enter the lake, do we open up more on the map?
Yeah, you know what? I think we will. We'll give you at
Thank
least
you.
these nearest two. There you
Ooh.
go.
Ooh.
Wow, what's that?
More lake.
Looks like rocks.
Yeah. But you can indeed see the whole island now. And
Cool.
who is piloting the raft?
Probably not
I
me.
don't know. Naya's just paddling or
Okay.
poling or whatever. So I guess it's
Um,
Ronku.
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, no, I mean, Naya, you're doing the paddling, so that would be you.
Oh, okay.
Can you make a athletics check?
Boom.
Okay, good one. Good 17s. Um,
I'm surprised you never made us roll anything to actually build the raft.
Oh, I did. That was part of your survival check.
Yeah. And
Okay.
we had some strategy stuff. Those of us with the chess game had some strategy knowledge, so theoretically anyway.
So it's a bit of a harrowing ride, but especially with what do two of you have chainmail?
Yeah.
I think
Grumpy,
so.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I've got
I've
scale
scale mail.
mail.
I've got
Oh,
scale
okay.
mail too.
Two with scale mail, one with chain.
Yeah, so it's a little harrowing with the guys with metal armor
I'm
on,
guessing
but
it's wet and sloshy.
a little bit. But wobbly though it is, you managed to stay stable, and
Also, Ruby thinks it's hilarious.
yeah, um, yeah, he's flying over the whole thing, uh,
And
quipping
laughing.
about how if he lands, he's sure it'll tip over.
Uh-huh.
Um, and it takes you it does take you like a because this is pretty slow going, about an hour of rowing to make it all the
That's
way to
not
the end.
bad. I thought it would be longer.
So you are here,
Yay.
and what that means is you are here. Whoa.
I'm huge as always.
There we go. Can everybody see?
Yep.
Yeah.
So when you make landfall, you find a um, island with not much on it. The center has a rocky hill, and facing southwest, which conveniently enough was the way that you all landed upon. Um, Built into that rocky hill is a tall stone structure. Um, and it's a pretty short walk from the shore to that structure. Looking around, you don't see too much else on this island. There are a few pillars that kind of like line a path up, not quite where you landed, but like up from a certain point on the shoreline um, to the doorway that you eventually reach.
Okay, wait. We find a doorway at the very top?
It's this big open space, yeah, like right here.
Okay. Okay.
So that is you could call it a 20-foot squarish gap in the walls.
Okay. I'm guessing that where we are compared to the main structure is shallows in here that's green.
That's grass outside.
Grass. Okay. So we are on land and that's just
Yes.
grass. Okay.
Yep.
Well, let's go see what this is. This very much looks to me like a ritual place. So tread carefully, I would say, um, in order to respect whatever's here or been here. That would be my inclination anyway.
Okay.
All right.
You guys can move relatively freely. We're not in combat, so do what you wish. Stepping inside the edifice, you see. Well, first you hear the sound of running water from both your left and your right. You see that this is a roughly square chamber with pillar supports lining the walls. There are 4 points in the room where you see what appear to be deep pits neatly carved into the stone tile floor. And in the center is what looks like a ornate centerpiece fountain of some sort. Um, and then you can also see above that, directly above the fountain, is a skylight that is open to the sun. Uh, to the left and right, you see what look like additional passageways or doorways, but they are barred by some sort of metal-looking bars. Um, and on the opposite side of where you come in, you see what looks like a archway slash doorway of some sort, um, made of stone.
Interesting. Really quick, I just want to try to like walk around the side of it.
Yeah, I want to walk around.
Huh. Okay.
Sure, feel free. Oh, Montlarin, are you going around the outsides?
Yeah.
Yeah, so either side of this, that point where it becomes like gray, is kind of built into the rock wall, so this thing is a little bit embedded in it.
Got it.
It's like a stony hillside.
What's at the bottom of the pits? Like, how deep are these?
They're maybe 20 feet deep, and as far as you can tell, there's nothing at the bottom.
So instead of being elevated pillars, they're actually pits?
Yeah, so these four structures are
Right.
pits. Ronku, looking through those bars, you can see they're built tightly enough with each other that you wouldn't be able to squeeze through yourself, without moving them somehow. But you see a pool in a otherwise relatively empty and shadowed room in that side that has a waterfall from a opening in the ceiling pouring into it. Um, and
Is the same true of the other chamber?
yes,
Okay, and what about the chamber at the opposite end?
which one? Where?
The one that Naya is standing in front of?
That
Northeast.
is now, upon closer inspection, a flat stone panel.
With the
Uh,
squiggly lines on it?
yeah, so you might consider that kind of an isometric view on that wall. I was trying to just portray that there for you.
Okay.
So this is that thing that you see there is not a chamber, but it is the wall essentially.
Oh, okay. And so the squiggly lines are what, writing?
Uh, Actually, they are exactly what they look like. Engraved on this slab on the wall that seems kind of like outlined for you is are those squiggly lines? In fact,
And did the map was the map fragment a piece of this?
no.
And is this the language? Is the squiggly line on here a language that any of you guys recognize? Any of that we recognize?
As far as you can tell, it is just like a sine wave.
I'd like to run a either a history check or um nature or perception or something with regard to see if there's some druidic influence here. We are awfully close to grandmothers. Is this
Um,
Sylvan languaging?
I'll let you do history. Yeah.
Ooh, what's my history? I have a +3 history.
Of course, I have no points in history.
Boom.
Just roll a 17.
Damn it.
No, it's only a 12.
Yeah. No, this definitely is not a language that you are aware of existing. Um,
Even in symbol or rune?
um, yeah, no, nothing that you recognize.
Can I do a religion check? I don't have any points in that either, but
What would be the context?
what was this used for? Was this a religious place?
I am getting kind of water temple-y vibes.
Yeah, me too. I don't know what to roll, sir.
You can roll religion if you want. Yeah.
Yes, that's my thing.
Go ahead, Ronku.
Yeah, go. Get a good one.
Nice.
Oh, very nice.
I am all the religion.
Okay, so what can
Okay.
Ronku tell us?
Ronku, this location is not any sort of place of worship you've ever seen. It does not apply to any god that you know of. You don't see any symbology about it. This is something entirely different.
Yeah, and if I don't know that, if I know that it's not a religious thing, then it's not a religious thing.
That's what he says.
What's
Okay.
the water like in this central pool here?
It is bone dry.
It is bone dry.
Is there any water access anywhere available in this room, this central room, or the subordinate chamber?
Well, like I said, you can see waterfalls pouring down into these other pools.
Right, but we can't get in there right now.
They are blocked by bars.
So
Yes.
I've got an extra sack with me. I'd like to go outside and go get some water and pour it in this fountain and see if it does anything.
Okay, I can tell you a sack won't hold water very well.
Yeah, I have a water skin.
I have a
Hmm,
water skin too. I just figured I have an extra sack.
let's see.
Ronku, you sound like
Analyzing these bars, what would it take to take these down?
Can you see any kind of a mechanism inside the wall? Can you feel anything? Like
Well, to
inside
answer
the wall?
Ronku's question first, the bars seem pretty old. They may have been iron or steel or something of that nature at one point. Um, you think maybe enough brute force might be enough to get them out of your way?
That sounds like a two-handed Warhammer time.
Would you like to make a Warhammer attack on the bars?
I would
That would kind of
absolutely like to do a
be my
Warhammer.
last choice.
Oh, the last choice. Okay.
Well,
I would consult the team first.
I just what about sir, but what would recognize magic? Like if this was a place of magic? An arcana
Um,
check?
yeah, that would be if it was used to do magical rituals that you're aware of or anything like that. Obviously, you're not going to be able to detect magic without the detect magic spell. Ronky, you suck at magic.
I know.
But Naya doesn't.
I am religion.
Uh, so if you go with Ronku's assumption that this is not a site of worship,
Okay.
Naya, you think it's pretty reasonable that it must instead be some site of magic ritual,
Mm-hmm.
because there's definitely kind of a ritualistic bent to the whole design of it.
Definitely, it's way too symmetrical.
Yeah, yeah. There's symmetry. There's weird organization that doesn't. It's not like somewhere people would live or anything.
Right.
So if it's not a holy place, and I mean you definitely don't get the feeling that it's like an unholy place either.
Right.
Uh, then you're thinking is, well, probably a wizard did it.
Or something. Or maybe
Yeah.
an elemental something or other that we're not familiar with because that's not from around here. But something because there's just too much symmetry for it to be random.
All right. So
But that's all I'm gonna
I'm
get
thinking we
out of a
gotta get into
19.
one of these two rooms. So
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
unless
gonna.
people want to start throwing spells at stuff, I'm thinking hammer.
Well, it makes sense for a warrior to do that.
Yeah. Well, hey, if I wanted to waste a chromatic orb, I could try and melt them with acid damage or something, but you know,
Montlarin takes a step back.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm gonna make another perception check because I am looking specifically for mechanisms in the wall. Like, for example, is the wall uh on either side of those bars, does it have a slot in the middle of it where those bars might move, where they might retract into the wall?
Understood. So Ronco, I'm gonna have you make your attack, and then Naya, go ahead and make a perception roll at the time. We'll resolve it.
Okay.
oh, good. So I'm gonna break these bars down and be like, hey, the door was right here. Smash.
A 14 with 8 damage puts a solid dent in one of the bars. You bend it pretty harshly. Naya, so you're looking specifically along these walls, you would say?
Yeah, to see if there's something like a slot that those bars could retract into, some kind of a mechanism that could be triggered by something else that we haven't found, anything
So
like that.
you discern that the bars themselves would sink into the floor, and
Ah, okay.
um, so some sort of mechanism would be at play here. Um, but you're not able to find like the
The trigger.
latch. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, but we know now that they go not up or sideways, but into the floor. They sink into the floor.
Yeah, so they're like vertical slats.
Okay, so what was my success with bringing water in a sack?
Um, if you tried it, that would probably take you about a half hour.
What?
Um, as it's
I
back
thought
down and then
I
back
thought
up
we
a
were
hill.
surrounded by water.
Well, I mean, in case I didn't make it clear when you guys arrived here, you arrived on this island. It's a decent sized island, and it is dominated by this hill. And from the shoreline, you can see this hill, but it's kind of a hike up that hill to this edifice.
Okay.
So, it's like it's not like the lake shore is right out here. Uh,
Okay. I thought it was.
it's
I thought it was literally outside this door.
my bad. I failed to describe that properly. Do you still want to do the sack thing in that case?
Not if it's going to take a half an hour. No.
Okay, fair enough.
Would Naya have told me that these things are supposed to sink into the floor? Or am I just
I
gonna keep
didn't know
whacking this
until
thing?
after you tried.
Am I just gonna keep whacking it? Because I don't know. I didn't inspect the bars.
Well, after she does her perception check and finds out that they are designed to sink into the floor
And you
and
hear
that there's a
wang.
mechanism for retraction, then I will tell everybody.
And I'd be
So
like,
I would
oh,
tell you guys,
look at
don't
the smarty
bother.
pants over here, too good for hitting things.
Oh, I get my fair share in. But
Alright.
what we
Well,
haven't found is the trigger that would cause the bars to retract down. And I keep feeling like if we put water in that central fountain, that could be the trigger. But
I
it's
mean,
going to take a while to go get water
I have
and
a
bring it back.
I have a flask. No, I have a water skin
I do
that I keep
too.
on me.
Yeah, I
That's
also
that,
do.
that's half a
Water,
gallon.
Serb, is the water in the lake potable?
Um, it is fresh water.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, if we all go down and fill our water skins and then bring them back and dump them in the fountain, I don't know that it will do much, but if this thing is bone dry and if adding water to the fountain is part of the trigger, it could make something happen. But
How much water does the water skin hold again?
It's a half
uh,
gallon
half
each.
no.
half a gallon.
Right. Okay.
So it's not much. It's only a gallon and a half of water, but it might be enough. I keep thinking of Snipe. What am I missing? That movie where you have to do the elements. The 5 elements. The 5th element.
Yeah, I gotcha.
So I keep thinking that a little bit of water in the fountain that is bone dry might do something to like retract the bars so we can see whatever's going on in those other chambers. That might be nothing, it might be something.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the way I see it, without having any idea of the mechanism itself, I would imagine that either we would want to put water in the middle here, or we would want to put water or something into those 4 pits, or we would want to cast some sort of water magic against that panel on the wall.
I don't have water magic. That's a Nimbus thing.
When I look into the hole, what do I see?
You see a gray brick, smooth, uh, square pit down about 20 feet, relatively few.
And at the bottom of it,
Nothing.
I drop my bounded hand axe in there.
It clatters to the floor.
Man, now I gotta get out the rope and haul your ass back up.
No, the axe appears in my hand again.
Oh, okay.
That's
Pretty
handy.
nifty. Yeah, it is.
No effect when you do that, though.
Okay, I just wanted to know if there was a pressure plate at the bottom of the hole.
All right, I'm gonna pour my water skin into this central bowl here.
Okay, so you dump out your you make a puddle in this fountain.
Right.
Okay, Naya does too.
Okay. And the bars do not move.
Do we hear anything move?
No. But looking at the puddle you've created, you see it sort of shimmer. In a way that does not really reflect the light that is coming from above it properly.
Interesting.
Puddle that's in the fountain?
Yes.
Hmm.
All right.
Ronku, do you want to try emptying your water skin into one of those pits?
Sure.
Or add it to the fountain?
I add it to the fountain.
Okay, so you have essentially made like a 5x5 puddle of water that is spreading out and gradually just getting to the point where it'll evaporate quickly. But before that happens, again, the puddle takes it takes on a strange kind of sheen to it, like a glare.
Is it a glare that is a warning, or is it a glare that is something more?
It's like
friendly.
It's like the water is unusually mirrored surface.
Huh.
I wish Nimbus was here.
I touched my sword.
He could probably
to
tell us if that was gonna be a problem.
I poke it with the end of my halberd.
Nothing happens.
Okay.
And after another few rounds, that it'll spread out to the point where it's just kind of just like damp stone tiles.
All right. Looks like we need more water.
Yeah, I guess I'll head back and refill up my water skin.
All right. Well, while you do that, I'm gonna hit this fucking bar with my hammer.
Sure.
Okay. I will go with Montlaurent and fill my water skin as well, and we will hurry.
Okay.
Actually, would I be able to tell if whether or not hitting with my hammer or firebolt could I melt it with firebolt?
Generally speaking, firebolt is too. It's like a you shoot it and then it poofs out of existence. It's not going to melt anything.
All right. Well,
it barely even sets things on fire.
All right. Well, sounds like I'm going to keep hitting it with my hammer.
I think my concern.
Oh, that's a crit.
Oh, very nice. I think my concern is
all I
that
hear you're in the background. Excuse me, actually, and then I just hit it with the hammer.
I think my concern is that if we add enough water to this, that we could actually inadvertently summon something we didn't intend.
Right.
Yeah, so Naya and Montlarin, as you two are like stepping out of the threshold, you hear a smash and a loud metal clatter as one of the iron bars that Ronki struck just snaps clean in half and gets tossed into the other room. And there's a shunk, and the one that you struck just goes into the ground as it loses whatever hold it had on the top half.
Guys, I fixed it.
Can you get through that space?
You have a
Uh,
space now that you could squeeze through single file pretty easily.
all right. Uh, I'll go first then. Yeah.
Well, we didn't get very far, so. You see anything?
Just the pool, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, there's not much in here aside from that pool.
Does it look like normal water?
It does look like normal water. It's coming from above, so there's another hole in the ceiling, again shaped pretty similar to that pool.
Okay, well, we can fill our water skins from there.
And there was no staircase that we could tell.
Anybody see a bucket?
Yeah.
The other thing that I wonder about that crossed my mind immediately is, can you see down below the pool of water there? Does it look like there's a downstairs? Because if these walls are designed to retract, these bars, there's a downstairs somewhere.
That's a
Right.
good point too.
There's mechanics, there's
Well, and
something that goes on down below.
This water has to be going somewhere, otherwise this place would be floating.
Right.
Right.
And where does that come from? Is there a hill high enough to create a waterfall on
Yeah,
this
the,
island?
the hill is quite it goes quite a ways above where this building is actually embedded into it.
Hmm.
You didn't notice any stairs on the outside, but the hill was such that you could probably climb it if you really wanted to, and try to
Good.
get like to the top of this thing.
Can we tell how deep the water goes?
Yeah, it's only a few inches deep, and do you try to prod it or anything?
No, I was just kind of trying to, because like we said, if that waterfall is continuously flowing, then that water has to be going somewhere, and if it's only a
Yeah.
few inches deep,
You don't
then
see any sort of drainage system or anything.
oh,
That's
well,
interesting.
that
But
is
yeah,
interesting.
as stated, it's not flooding.
That's kind of strange.
Yeah, I'll poke at it
Hmm.
with my sword. Is it really only a few inches deep?
It is. Your sword hits solid tile on the bottom.
Huh.
Okay, well, I say we just try and
Is there any evidence of water around on the floor in this triangular room?
Aside from whatever little bits you might have splashed by messing around with it, no.
No evidence of erosion?
No.
Is there any kind of decor in this triangular room besides this pool?
Um, there's kind of yeah. So around the walls of this triangular room, um, essentially the same pattern that's on that stone tablet on the wall is kind of engraved in the wall here. So you've got the one line on the bottom and then the one line on the top. The one line on the top is a little bit thinner in thickness. And
Hmm.
they're separated by you would say the height of a man or so.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
so. Do we want to just try and fill up that fountain in the middle, or
Yeah, we could like set up a bucket brigade sort of thing going on here.
Well, and let's add some more and see if anything changes. I don't want to waste our time with it, but it does seem as though it has some effect. I want to see if it has a greater effect.
Right, or at least if we can discern what kind of effect it's having.
Right.
yeah?
So yeah, let's like set up a line. You know, I'll fill them, toss them to Ronku. Ronku can take them to Naya, and Naya can dump them in the fountain.
All right, what are you feeling?
We each have a water skin, so there's 3 water skins total.
Okay. It'll be slow work on that fountain, but you might be able to get some progress.
Yeah, we're just trying to fill it up a little, see if adding more water fixes or does something. Or...
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really want to add a whole lot more, maybe a couple more gallons. See what happens, see what changes, if anything.
Yeah, I mean, even if it's only like a quarter-inch deep, I'd like to cover the whole bottom in water and see what happens.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you know what? Maybe Google can help me.
I'm gonna grab a drink too. I'll be right back.
Sure.
What are you trying to figure out? Like how long it would take out to pour out 10
How
gallons
much
of
water
water?
does it take to cover this much area?
Gallons of water per square feet. If you have the depth, all right. Can't you just give me a formula? No, you gotta like spell it out in plain text. Okay. Uh, depth in feet times the width and the length.
They don't do it by like cubic foot?
Yeah. Okay. It's cubic feet, so it's gonna be like something like 30 times what's a quarter of an inch? I guess I'll just do an inch. Um, so I guess it's like 30 by 30 divided by 12. 75 amount of water by per cubic foot, so times 7.48.
And convert that to gallons?
Yep. Okay, so that's 561 gallons.
Okay, that's not happening.
I think doing this with water skins is a little unreasonable.
Mm-hmm.
Fair. Okay. New plan.
If we could have found a bucket somewhere, that'd be great. It'd still be tedious, but it would be better. But no.
Uh,
Okay,
I
so what would it take to cover the bottom of that fountain with about an inch of water?
Uh,
561 gallons? It better not. That's a huge ass fountain.
it is like 30 by 30 feet, roughly.
Oh shit. Okay.
Maybe 20 by 20 would be closer. I guess I could do it that way.
That's still bigger than I thought.
yeah, we're talking about like a pool sized.
Yeah, even if we go with 20 by 20, it's still like 250 gallons for a 1 inch fill.
If I tried to pour some of my water out on the door, does that do anything?
You can try it.
Sure. Fuck it.
We'll just say you do because it's easy enough to just go get more. Unfortunately, nothing happened.
Damn.
Did we try splashing some on that wall? Did we
Or
try
That's
putting
what he
some
was just doing. Yeah.
in one of those pits?
yeah, or in the hole maybe. Pour some water in the hole.
In the hole, it splatters and nothing else happens.
Great.
Does it just sit there or does it drain away?
It just kind of splashes and turns into a damp spot.
Okay.
Alright.
Well,
I mean, we didn't check the other room, but I'm guessing it's gonna be a lot like the first room.
I would guess that
Right.
as well.
What you
And
can see through the bars is that it's pretty much the same.
yeah, and I'm
Mhm.
thinking that we aren't going to find anything unless we can go outside and see if there's another access point to down below. In the meantime, let's fill our water skins so that we're not without water. I mean, fill our water skins for ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do that.
And then,
You wouldn't think that maybe it would need water from both fountains, do you?
are any of us a scribe or a cartographer or something to write down what
I'm
this looks
basically
like?
sure.
And
I have a bunch of
Naya
like
can do it,
papers
but
and
she'd be a
books and
total
papers in my
amateur
bag.
at it.
Ronku does have books and papers and stuff. He could probably make a pretty good sketch of this.
Awesome.
No skill check needed.
I do.
Simple.
I take a lot of notes.
That would be great.
Yeah, you could be right about needing water from both sides.
Well, it wouldn't hurt to hit it with my hammer.
I'd rather not wreck it if we can avoid
That-
that.
That's
Mhm.
fair. You did say there was further up the hill, right? Do we know what's at the top of the hill?
You couldn't see the top of the hill from the bottom, but you think you might be able to like hike your way up it, maybe do a little bit of climbing.
Okay,
You
sir,
could
what are
potentially,
these things?
which thing? Oh, those are just pillars around the
And do
sides
they
of
go
the.
all the way up to the ceiling?
They do reach the ceiling, yes.
And what does the ceiling look like?
Um, the ceiling is a fairly simple curved stone thing. It's fully intact, and in the middle there's an open skylight above the fountain.
Okay. Are there any runes or anything on the walls?
In this room, no. Aside from the squiggles in the pool room, nothing. It's all very plain.
Okay. All right, well, let's see if we can find something outside. There's got to be a way to access down below. Mechanical things break, so there's got to be a way.
Huh. Yeah, let's look around.
Okay. How do you want to do this? Do you want to just kind of walk the perimeter?
That's what I would do.
How
You
tall is the building?
Uh, 30, 40 feet maximum. Like I said, if you wanted to get on top of it, you think you could just by going like around the rocky hillside.
This is
Oh,
such an
well,
interesting place to not have religious connotations.
that's okay. I mean, it's better than me trying to like grapple up there. So I guess we can just walk up the hill, see what's at the
Yeah,
top.
yeah. Grappling is super unnecessary here. Like even if you had to take a long route around, there's enough of a incline that you'd be able to just kind of walk slash pull yourself up.
Okay. Uh, I walk up to the roof.
Okay. Does everybody else want to do this?
uh,
Okay, I just lost sight of them.
Oh, yeah, I think you went behind the wall. Are you good now?
Okay, I moved back.
Okay.
yeah, I'll go with Roku.
Okay. Um. So. Oop,
No.
Interesting that you had that pre-built.
you're up here now.
Distinguishing features.
Okay. There are 3 holes in the roof that you are standing on. There's the central skylight above the fountain. There are 2 additional skylights that seem shaped exactly like the pools down below, and there are kind of aqueducts sort of carved into the roof here that help um, these streams that are coming down from higher up on the hill funnel down and drop into the pools.
Ah,
They are unending, basically.
okay. Interesting.
Aside from that, it's pretty featureless, and like I said, this building is kind of embedded in the hillside here, um, so a lot of it just kind of like goes up into the rock.
So it's just those holes. There's nothing in between the 3 holes.
Correct.
Okay. So maybe we could try and figure out because it would be a lot easier to get the water from straight from these aqueducts and just try and get it to funnel into the hole maybe.
Maybe, but the main problem is what to carry it with. All we've got
Well,
are
you're.
water skins.
I think Roku's more talking about trying to divert the water flow the other way.
Oh, okay.
Like divert the aqueduct.
And what is the floor of the ceiling made of?
It is stone. Pretty like thick. Uh, maybe sandstone-ish.
So what are the aqueducts made out of?
The same material as the roof. And
Are,
the rest of the
are they raised above the roof, or is it a channel in the roof?
It's kind of like yeah, it's kind of like a trough through the it's like a raised shelf
Got
by
it.
maybe a foot or so. It's not like in the air, but it's separate.
God, it'd be like super destructive, but I'm like tempted to try to just break the side of one of these.
I mean, if we flood the roof, it will eventually get in the hole. That does achieve our goal. But I don't know if that's the best thing.
Right. I mean, I don't even know if that's necessarily a good thing to try to do. It's just what's on our mind, but
Yeah, well, just a spitball. So if I look in the hole, I just see the fountain down below,
Yep, that is indeed what you see.
and the water doesn't look any different up here.
No, in fact, the water that you guys have placed in that has probably dried up by now.
Damn. All right. So we want to get water in this hole.
Naya, don't you have like an ice breath?
I do.
I wonder if you were to like freeze part of one of these aqueducts, if the water would just rush out of it over what you froze.
So unfortunately, I don't think the breath
I don't-
weapon actually
I don't think it
creates
does what you
chunks
want.
of ice.
Right.
Right, but I was assuming that it'd be cold enough that if it was used on the water, it would freeze the water.
I don't know. Sir, can I target the water instead of some enemy?
I usually rule that the dragonborn breath weapons don't freeze or have any like long lasting effects like that.
Got it.
Yeah.
Just
I
because
mean,
they don't say they do. So
yeah.
I was just
And
looking
even
for
in
a
that,
non-destructive way to flood the roof in case we were
Yeah.
grounded.
and even in that sense, if you add ice cubes to a glass of water, it doesn't freeze the water. You just have ice in the water now.
Yeah, that's a good point. It would be a
Yeah,
trick to
I
make a
was
solid ice block.
I was more thinking, yeah, that if it was cold enough, it would flash freeze the water. But yeah, if that's
All right.
not how we play, that's just not how we play. So yeah, if we want to try to divert this water, either we have to plug those up with stuff we have, or we need to break the sides of one of those.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we can find stuff to plug them up if that's what we want to try to do.
I still want to walk around it, see if we can find another way down.
Yeah, that's worth doing first. I mean, if we're going to try to plug them up rather than break something, we need to go get stuff anyway.
Okay. If you guys head back down, I'm going to say that you probably start by making a perimeter. And again, this is a decent sized island, but not something you could probably cross most of it in the better part of an hour. And Unfortunately, what you find just walking around the perimeter of this hill and kind of trying to get to the top of it, maybe um, you don't see any other structures on this island.
Yeah, no other doors, no other apparent entryways or anything either.
No, no other buildings. Even like the pillars that kind of lined the path to this location from the shoreline. You don't find anything similar to those anywhere else.
We have a reproduction of the map thing, right?
You have like a paper one, yeah.
Could you describe it again for me, please?
Yeah, well, mostly it was like a map of the wider area, so it was kind of similar to the world map that we're using, a similar scale to that even. And there was just kind of like a starburst mark on the island that you're on, like
Got it.
a significant mark, you would say.
How close did we examine the mural downstairs?
You mean the one on like the stone slab on the wall?
Yeah. 'Cause I know
Um,
we tried to decipher the language and stuff, but did we like actually investigate it further than that?
Do we have enough paper and charcoal to make a rubbing?
Probably not of the whole thing because it's pretty big. I mean, investigating it, you didn't see anything to it aside from the engravings of it.
Those two lines.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, so then what I suggest is this: if we want to try to fill that hole, we can gather some wood or rocks or something and try plugging either or both of those aqueducts up so that the roof just starts to flood. I mean, it's either that or walk away scratching our heads at this point, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty lost myself actually.
And that way we can
Yeah,
undo
I'd
it.
agree. I really don't like the destruction of a place since it's actually in really good condition, except for what we've done to it. I'm really not inclined to do more destructive stuff to it. Um, but I don't know that walking away scratching our heads is something we want to do.
Well, yeah, that's why I was suggesting plugging those aqueducts up instead of breaking them, because that way we can undo it if we decide it doesn't work, and that way we don't actually destroy this place in the process. So if nobody objects, I think we should get started. I mean, I don't hear any other ideas.
Yeah, okay. I don't have anything else um set up for this trip that might be
Okay.
useful.
Well, it's not hard to find large rocks and the occasional boulder to lug around from the hillside and get up onto the rooftop. Um, I will say it would probably take you most of the day, and you might even hit nightfall before you get any kind of progress, like productive progress on this.
Right.
Um, so the option I'm going to give you is that if you're going to commit to this action, we can complete it before, like just before nightfall, and the time when you would normally make camp, or you can get it most of the way done, make camp, and then finish it up first thing in the morning without too much trouble.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, we can finish it in the morning. That's fine.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
fine.
I would expect it to take quite a bit of time.
Yeah, exactly.
You're going to be toting like rocks and stuff back and forth, and I assume you're planning on making a line to the central thing to kind of guide it as well.
Yeah, if there's enough material,
Yeah.
hell yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like put some logs down to try and funnel the water, maybe.
All right. So the team does some heavy labor for a little while, and one day passes. Um, It's very peaceful out here, quiet. Uh, you don't see much of anything um, throughout that time, and Naya, I think you spent your rope on the raft, right?
All right.
What's the rope for?
Oh, I think she clicked it by accident.
Oh,
Montlarin, when you wake up in the morning, you are feeling like crap again. You have one level of exhaustion.
oh, good.
It's all that try to pull boulders uphill with one hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll finish up the stuff by ourselves then.
Yeah, and you finish this up. Don't forget to eat a ration, everyone.
Yep.
And after breakfast, basically, you're able to put this together such that you've diverted the southeastern aqueduct to flow directly into the central skylight, and it trickles across at first and kind of like spreads out over the roof, but gradually it just starts to flow into itself, and then you have a decent stream flowing into that chamber.
All right. So when we look in the hole, what happens?
It takes a few moments, but um, the central fountain starts to fill with water, and what you can see is where you would expect a strong ripple or crashing of water from the fall, like several 30, 40 feet or so. Um, it seems to fall into a completely still glassy plane that just slowly rises as the thing fills.
Mm.
All
That's
right.
interesting.
Maybe we should go back downstairs.
Maybe we should stay up here.
If I look at the reflection on that plane, do I see what I
Yes.
expect to see?
Right, because you are looking straight down at it.
Right.
So you expect to see a pretty elf face looking over the lip, and you don't. Actually, what you see is kind of just a purplish glare.
Huh. I wonder if that's not a portal to somewhere else now.
Uh-huh.
Only one way to find out.
It would
Go
not
Right.
downstairs and find out.
surprise me at all if this wasn't some way to invoke a water elemental.
Well, yeah.
How
Look,
deep is the hole? I could just jump in and find out real quick.
That's a long drop. You want me to roll 4d10?
no.
I'm very good actually.
We just run downstairs.
Yeah, let's
But
run
I'm just kind of
downstairs.
looking at one, do we know how to
He's
do we,
fine.
do we know how to roll?
I actually am.
Do we know how to invoke a water elemental? I mean, we don't have Nimbus with us. So, do we know how to do that? Do we know how to deal with it? Does anybody speak elemental? Yeah, all that stuff.
I don't speak. What is the language for water
I
elementals?
would assume it's
Primordial.
like I was gonna say it's the aqueous version of primordial,
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
which I do not speak.
I do not speak it either.
But yeah, I would like to go
So-
downstairs.
Maybe someday I'll speak.
Okay,
Not that today's.
I'll
not
go
that
with
day.
them. I mean, Mount Lauren's already exhausted on one level. All right, so this thing is filling up. How high is it from the top of the fountain base?
Well, now that it's gotten about 6 inches deep, it seems to not be moving anymore.
Interesting.
I poke it with my halberd.
There's no ripple.
Does it seem 6 inches deep?
It does.
Okay.
But a constant 6 inches deep suggests that the water is draining elsewhere.
Or something. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
It's kind of like putting the tip of your halberd through a mirror, except the mirror doesn't stop it from moving.
But it stops at the bottom of the.
Yes, yeah. Where you expect it to stop, it does.
Now that we've diverted the flow, what does this little culvert thing look like now?
You see a still pool of water with just what was in it before, but no more waterfall.
Okay.
Oh,
And the
the
pits are empty, I assume.
The pits are unchanged.
and the door is unfazed.
Correct.
Oh boy, this is a head scratcher.
I'm
Okay,
gonna.
Naya's gonna sit down and do her meditation. She is part of the water druidic circle.
That's right.
So she's gonna do her meditation. She doesn't know if it will have any use whatsoever. But we're all scratching our heads, so she'll try that.
I splash my face with the water that's in the pool.
All right, so you like hand dip and throw it up.
Yeah.
It's cool, fresh water, mountain water.
Interesting.
Can you toss me an Arcana?
Oh lord.
That's gonna be not much of anything.
Well,
Uh,
I knew it wasn't gonna be like the 24 I had earlier.
well, I mean, it's been a full day. Maybe I can reroll Arcana now. Is that how we do these things,
um,
or is it like?
what kind of context are you looking for, basically?
Um, since I know it's not a religious context, this we decided this seemed more real, ritualistic. You know, maybe I read somewhere about a ritual site in my magical studies.
Got it. Yeah, Ronku, I'll let you do an Arcana roll. Nature will not apply here.
Okay.
Well, what you can tell is there is magic afoot. Certain. This much is obvious to anybody who knows uh, magic. Um, you. I suppose the 16 would constitute a hint, and I think what that hint is going to manifest as is that you think the design of the engravings on the tablet must relate to whatever magic is occurring in this fountain right now.
Hmm.
I think if Nimbus was here, he would suggest we flood the room and fill those pits and overflow the fountain. So
Yeah, that.
from here, it's a matter of waiting until the central fountain fills and overflows.
But it
And
stopped
then the
rising.
overflow fills the pit.
Yeah, I mean it's not filling up anymore, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna.
Correct. It's completely still.
I'm gonna poke at it with my fleshy hand.
So you get kind of the same response as Ronku dipping his halberd in. But it uh, when you if you like leave your hand in there, like if you're not trying to pull water out, like Ronku did when he was splashing his face,
Yeah, I'm more like
um,
running my hand through the water.
it doesn't really feel like water. It doesn't really feel like much of anything at all.
Weird.
Um, take your hand out of the water.
Okay.
So
You can produce
Does
a
it
small
drip?
splash when you like pull your hand out,
Does it
and
even drip?
it does drip. It sort of acts like water as you retract.
what happened? I'm gonna do a shock and grasp on the water.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah, you don't need to roll for that. Nothing happens though.
Damn.
No result from shock and
I'm
grasp.
thinking that we have to try and get like, because it's like waves. So I think if we get like the water to start moving around,
Who's got the highest strength here?
probably me.
What's your strength?
+5.
Okay, well that beats the crap out
Oh
of
wait,
me.
no, 17. So +3.
This still beats the crap out of me.
It's crap out of mine.
Can you maybe try to lower me down into it?
Lower you down like I'm baptizing you? Like what?
No. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to try to step into it. But if it is a portal like I suspect, I'm probably going to rapidly start falling.
Oh, okay. Well, I can hold you by your armpits and
All right. So yeah, basically just grab my hand so that if I do fall, I don't like fall to my death.
so I just do a dexterity strength check.
Oh,
Sir?
you're fine. You can grab onto him. Montlarin is consenting to the grapple.
Okay. Well, I wasn't gonna
And
grab. I was just if he
uh,
starts sinking into the hole, I gotta grab him by his shirt and pull him back in.
Montlarin, you step in, and you are standing on something. You don't feel like you're standing in water though, and it's an unusual experience to have your boots in water and have them not making any sloshing or anything.
Okay.
Kick around in there for a bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually like walk a circuit around the fountain.
Okay, aside from getting doused a little bit by the incoming waterfall, you are otherwise unchanged.
Okay. In that case, I'm gonna try to completely submerge myself.
Okay. Whoops. Hang on.
Oh
One sec.
shit! Scared me. I saw him go away, and it's like, uh-oh.
Hang on, how did I do this? Hang on. There we go. Montlarin disappears.
Oh damn it!
All right. Well, I'm jumping in the pool after him. Head first dive, I guess.
Neat.
Okay, Ronku jumps into the pool, and the instant he is fully submerged, he disappears, and you don't see him again, Naya.
Fantastic. Now what am I supposed to do? Wait for you clowns or follow you?
Come on in. The water's fine.
There's not enough even water to submerge her. Where's Ruby?
uh, well, Ruby's on your shoulder, I guess.
Okay. What do you think, Ruby? I'm asking him in Draconic.
Yeah, wow. I mean, this is weird. I don't know magic.
All right.
Uh, are you gonna go in after them?
Well, if I do, are you coming with me?
I'll go with you.
All right. I still see Ronku's token, by the way.
Oh, yeah, that should be gone by now.
All right. So Naya follows after, along with Ruby.
Whoop. You all pop out of the fountain in the same room, except some things are a little bit different.
Yep.
The 4 pits are now 4 pyramidal pillars, and the pillars around the side of the room are now pits.
And this is the below that I knew was here.
It's kind of like the underside.
In addition to
Yes.
that, there, rather than iron bars, there's a kind of black glassy material where they were.
Interesting. Oh yeah.
And what is this? Over by the rune shape.
That is something that has well, basically what you see on it. It has an engraving that is 3 circular uh, indentations, all linked by a line. There's uh, there's like gold plating on the inside, um, and that's what you see. Although on this one, unlike the previous one, you actually see a seam running down the middle, sealed very tightly.
How big are those indentations?
Each one is maybe the size of your head.
Interesting. So, do they look like they might be like sockets?
That's a fair assessment.
Uh, hmm.
And how many of those sticks were found?
Sticks?
Those meter-long sticks?
Oh, you mean
Oh,
the
oh,
communication thing?
Uh-huh.
2 of them.
Go back over to the glass.
Okay.
I examined the glass.
It's black and foggy. It sort of shows your reflection.
Does it look fragile?
Um,
Like I knock on the glass. Can I determine its thickness?
it sounds like it sounds pretty thick. Like it's like a thunk, not a clink.
Okay, that takes care of that problem. What about these holes?
They're maybe 10 feet deep, but as featureless as the holes in the previous room.
Is
Good
it
to know.
apparent from this location that this is where the bars retract into?
No,
Or no evidence of those bars at all?
you don't see any evidence of the bars.
Okay.
And what about the pillars?
The those pillars. Again, they're pretty featureless stone brick arrangements. They go up and connect to the ceiling of this room, which is of a similar height to the previous, although there are no skylights.
And there's no exit.
Correct.
And is the water actually blue, or is that just to differentiate it from?
It is very clearly purple.
And I mean, if I run my hand through it, what happens?
About the same thing as previously.
So it's still water, just purple.
Yeah.
So, what do you suppose goes in those recesses there?
I put my
Something we
fist in.
haven't found yet.
You said it's head shaped?
Head
Not head
sized?
shaped, but head sized.
Is it
They're
shaped like
perfectly
a
Perfectly
dinner plate?
round. They're
How,
orbs.
orbs,
Spheres.
round.
okay. So those are large orbs. Wow, I wonder where we'd get such a thing. I don't remember seeing any reports of orbs that large.
If I poke it with my halberd, does anything happen? Poke one of the holes.
No. Nothing happens.
What if we do that at the same time? Me with my longsword, you with your halberd.
All right.
I can try it with my staff.
I can get the top one with my halberd.
Yeah, let's see if we try to get all 3 at once.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Serb.
Nothing happened.
Nah.
Damn.
Okay. So we need this orb-shaped thing.
Something goes there.
Yep.
Does anything in this room, like, is this symbol on the walls of this room, like the wave was on the wall of the other one?
Similar to the previous location, this one is very plain. It's almost entirely featureless.
Is there anything in this room that suggests the orb?
Or
The orb
triangles?
shape?
Nothing else is orb shaped.
What about triangles? Is there any triangles in here?
The pillars are kind of pyramidal, but they're square based.
Mm. I'm getting the vibe to hit it something with my hammer.
And this room has no exit, right?
As far as you can tell, none.
Okay. So, seems like definitely a portal. Lauren, I feel like this could be useful to you in some way, the knowledge of it.
Yeah, I'm curious how this door opens myself.
Yeah, definitely something to share with Dex.
Do we know it's a door? Does it look like a door?
Well, there
Well,
is
the
a
fountain is
seam
a
that
door.
runs through the middle of it.
Okay, so it's a door. Is it a? It's. I'm guessing it's like stone, right?
Yes.
All right. Well, if I'm gonna hit something with my hammer, it's gonna be the glass.
You can go right ahead.
What do you guys think? I'm out of ideas.
It's worth a shot.
Okay, then. That's more than enough encouragement I need.
Nice.
Again?
Oh my god.
And I break things.
You hit the glass and there is a crack, and what was a glossy black void kind of you just see this hairline crack go all the way through from one end to the other that you've created, and now all of a sudden you can see through the glass, and what you see
Woo!
through the glass, so you didn't break it, but
Yes.
if I could get this lighting, there we go. It's something like that.
Oh, wow.
Space. Like stars.
Yeah.
It's full of stars.
Maybe don't hit that again.
Okay, so we're obviously dealing with portals. Portals upon portals.
Portals inside a portal.
Yeah.
This has
Yeah,
only
we're in
made more questions.
It does. It opens a ton more questions, but this was not a religious place, but it was definitely a ritual magic place.
Maybe I should hit the other side too.
Right, I feel like we're in some sort of plane or pocket realm.
A pocket dimension.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know that you need to hit anything else.
I assume it's just gonna be more stars on the other side.
Yeah.
At least that way we know.
But I think it's really interesting. It suggests that if this is a portal place, then it suggests that the orbs or whatever those things are that go in those 3 locations, those slots, could produce an address, destination, source.
Raku, I'm just
Um,
gonna give you this one and say if you press your face up to the glass like you're looking against a glass that has a glare, you'll see through it.
Yeah. All right then. Hey guys, this one's broken. I can see inside.
Well, that was the case for the other one too. You just hit it first.
Oh, well, I solve things my own way.
Yep, got the job done. Yeah, okay. Well, I don't have anything that
so
I
we
think...
found our own version of Stargate.
Right, exactly.
We just don't have any addresses or keys or anything.
This is something Decus will want to know about, though.
Definitely. It's also pretty. I mean, this was obviously a place where stuff happened.
Yeah, and we should potentially look around the rest of the island just to see if we find anything that might be a candidate for going into one of those holes
I
there.
mean, like, it would be awesome if we could find even one of those orbs. It would tell us what might be looking for.
Right. But also, it might just mean that we need to search around, or maybe even ask grandmother if she knows anything about the island.
Yes. But if we hadn't, it's like if we hadn't diverted the water from the roof, we wouldn't have filled up the water in the fountain enough to even experiment with it. But how would they have done it without us breaking some? Like, how
They
would they have done it in
they
the olden
probably
days?
would have manipulated the water by magic, I would imagine, if not just created water of their own whenever they needed it.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, it's a very magical place. I'm sure they had
It
power.
is.
Or
Yes.
have things that are larger than water skins to do it.
True.
Right. I'm going to try submerging myself again to see if I can actually go back, because otherwise this could be
Okay.
horrific.
Yes.
You go back.
Excellent.
All right, I guess we're leaving.
Yep. Okay,
nothing-
Ruby, here we go.
I have nothing left to hit, so I must leave.
He holds his breath, and then you go.
I think the fact that the fountain
back.
is reliable, both directions, is very important.
Yeah, both because I'm glad we're not trapped, but also because that implies that we can leave it the way it is right now, and when we come back, it should
Right.
still be working.
It'd be fascinating to come back here with Nimbus. Have him create all kinds of water.
Indeed.
We could put the aqueduct back upstairs.
Yeah.
Okay, I really want to walk around the island and see what else we can see, if there's anything else.
Didn't we do that when we were looking for stuff?
You did for a little bit. You could probably spend the rest of the day trekking around the island, just making a full investigation if you all like.
Okay, and we should be making notes because that's part of the survey.
So, why don't you
I draw down
guys?
all this stuff.
Why don't you guys give me an investigation check?
Nah.
Nah.
Yay!
Okay, Ronku sees stuff we don't.
It's just a really pretty island. I got distracted.
All right,
Shiny.
I'm cold and calculating.
Ronku, you find one thing.
Ooh.
Buried in the dirt on one of the shorelines is a stone bucket.
Damn it!
Oh my god, I knew there was a bucket somewhere.
And it has the squiggly engraving like around the outside of it.
Well, again, we solved it our own way.
Yeah.
That's worth putting next to the fountain, though.
Totally.
Yeah, you could bring it back if you want. And night's gonna fall while you guys are on this island.
All right, then we should.
Sir, I lost my token. It's just slightly off.
You did lose your token. I don't know if I can get that back.
Ah!
Hit Control Z.
If you were controlling your token, you can just hit the up arrow or the down arrow,
Also
whatever
that,
direction.
yeah, if you haven't clicked off of it yet.
Like you're still controlling your token.
I
You can
think
just
I
hit the
must have
arrows.
clicked off.
Control Z a few times. It should save it. Otherwise, I think you're doomed.
No. Can we change the map and get it back?
Her and Ruby just fall into the abyss.
I mean, I could put another Naya on the map.
Naya is forever going.
Yeah, I can't touch it.
Yeah, if we're gonna leave in the morning too, we should definitely collect some of this water for Nimbus. I'm sure he'll want to see it.
Yep.
Just fill our water skins.
Oh, actually, I go back in the water. I want to fill my water skin with some of that purple water.
Okay, you can do that.
Cool.
Come back. So now I have a
All right.
cool water purple skin.
Great
A
flavor.
night passes. You guys need to spend your rations as usual.
Okay.
I feel like this is the
And-
first time that you've actually kept up with the rations.
What? No, I always do. Which is just usually we usually don't spend more than one day at a dungeon location.
Ha!
And as you guys are packing up your camp, the first wave hits.
All right, well, time to get the hell out of here.
Indeed.
All right, are we going back to Maricus or are we going to to Keep Ignis?
Didn't we say we wanted to talk to, was this the grandmother thing? Maybe someone there knows what's happening.
Well, I want to see
Grandmother's
her
grove?
after we're done, but I want us to also get someplace safe for the Redshift. So from
The Grove is
here,
safe.
where are we going?
Yeah, the Grove is perfectly safe. She's got an obelisk.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we could go just straight there and shelter the Redshift there this time.
Chill at Grandma's
Okay.
house.
Grandma doesn't really have a house.
I'm sure Ruby will like that.
Yes, Ruby would like that.
Ruby visits there all the time. He'll often just fly out while the Redshift is off and go back and forth between the two locations.
Totally.
He's able to make the trip pretty safely on his own.
That's the beauty of flight right there.
As
Yep.
the dragon flies.
Yep. Dragon cat. Is that the plan?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
All right. Well, it doesn't take you too long to get there. So you do eventually. And just for fun, we could bring y'all back here. Oh, there's a few people here that shouldn't be.
Yes. I am a man.
Holy cow.
Still a giant.
All right. You arrive, Ronku. I don't think you've been here before, have you?
Nope.
All right.
Who are these lovely people?
I assume Montlarin and Naya are pretty cool with the whole thing by now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But when you walk into the perimeter of this forest, you are surrounded by whispers, giggles, and they get closer and louder, and for a moment your sight goes blurry, and then all of a sudden, you stumble for a second, and then you are being pulled by both hands by your hair. Ronku, you have a beard or a mustache, right?
Yeah, full
So-
beard and like longer gray hair.
Yeah, by your beard, by like your the back of your shoulders and everything, by Pixie, excitedly pulling and tugging you
Actually, my hair's brown, so
into this
How about that?
location.
interesting. And what is this location?
This is the home of grandmother, the Dryad.
It's Grandmother's Grove. And you need an introduction to Grandmother.
I do.
I can give you.
Good.
I can give you
She's
that.
not on the list of characters.
Oh, yes, she is.
Is she
Sir,
the?
can you get her the...
She's
get
Yeah,
in
she's
the-
the
I just
lady of
did.
the. Oh, yep, she is the lady of the wood.
I just did show to players.
Okay, tree lady.
She says, "Hello, everyone.
Greetings.
Good to see you are all safe. I felt the start of the Redshift this morning. I assume you've just come from another quest.
Indeed. I am Raku, by the way. Hello.
Hello, Ronku. I hope the children haven't been too mean to you. They enjoy strangers.
Children are delightful as always.
I mean, she's talking about the pixies, right?
Yeah.
Or the fairies.
You imagine so?
Do fairies have ages? Like, are they just like timeless beings?
Well, I mean, so local commission member Maisie is a pixie, but she is one from a city. Two, likes to wear clothes. Um, three, talks to people like a normal person. So she's kind of a freak in pixie terms. Um, what you have here are most certainly wild pixies that live in this forest, and you know, just from knowing things about the commission, that they were helped and brought under the protection of this obelisk um, with the team's help because they were all suffering from the redshift for a very long time.
Interesting.
And grandmother has and used the power to subtract the shifting effects from creatures that were afflicted by it within her grove and take it into herself instead for a long time until this obelisk is built.
Interesting. What a nice lady. So I guess we can try and ask grandmother what she knows about the island.
Yep.
I guess I'd describe what we saw and know if she. I mean, she's probably a woodland creature, so I don't think she gets out much. But
Yeah, we can just let her know that grandmother, we went out to the island in the middle of the lake and we found what pretty much looks like a temple. Um, in that structure, and the fountain, the central fountain, acts as a portal. Um, we diverted the stream in order to add water to it, and there was enough water to create a portal between the primary ground level and another level, potentially below that. And it acted as an instantaneous portal. Can you tell us anything about the island or the temple or whatever went on there?
Oh well, I've heard of it. Well, Ronku, you're right to say that I don't get out very often, but I think you'd be surprised to learn that before the Redshift began, I did receive all sorts of information from around uh, the region, even assistance and news and uh, things like that. Um, so I have some familiarity with this uh, location that you mentioned on the island. Um, I'm afraid I don't know the details, but I know that a yeah, you knew that already, Naya. She's been around since before the Redshift.
Yeah, but
Um,
that's like thousands of years.
they say it's about 1,000, almost
Okay.
exactly. Um,
oh, so this whole redshift thing is like a phenomenon, not just like a thing that's started happening.
Yeah, it's not forever, but it's been forever, so far forever, for
yeah, it's been
so
going on
many
for 1,000 years or
generations that
so.
it's like a thing. It's
Yep.
like what happens here. But grandmother's the only being that we run into that remembers before the redshift.
Oh,
But I must tell you that uh, while I know a little bit about this place, I do think it was before my own time that it was created and in use. I have heard stories of a organization which would utilize it in various rituals. Um, I I believe it may have been referred to by one of those adventuring types that had come to me once as a vault.
A vault?
Hmm.
Like a repository of something?
Yes, the memory is coming back. I remember now. They were looking for a way into the vault. I sadly wasn't able to help them because I did not actually know anything else about it. But they were able to tell me what they knew about it. And they had discovered uh, a locked door that they wished to enter.
we've seen the door.
Hmm.
There-
Yes.
There's
I suppose
three
they never got in.
there's three keys, so I can understand why they weren't able to find them.
Well, that was just what that one rather insistent human called it. So, whatever they knew is what I'm transferring to you. I suppose it's not the most reliable source of information.
Yeah, we humans aren't the most reliable bunch.
And it's helpful to know that even a long time ago, that it was seen as both a vault and that there was a door and that it required key. That confirms what we saw.
Hmm.
Not sometimes I wonder about opening doors, like maybe that's not very wise.
Did they
Well,
mention to you anything about the the glass or the space?
oh, yes. Um, Now that you mention that, I recall them claiming that it was even tied to a sort of portal structure, like you said, that um, uh, I believe the word for it is a demiplane,
Oh,
Oh, that's interesting.
an access point to a small, secure area.
I wonder if that's what we
Hmm.
found or if it's something else.
it's like a little pocket dimension inside of
That sounds about right.
Right.
inside
I
of
mean, what we found, though, kind of felt like a pocket dimension,
yeah,
but it
in like
makes me wonder if there was another one.
the outer plane somewhere.
Right.
Just-
Yeah, I suspect that the magicians among our group would be very interested in this mystery.
Yes, I agree.
Thank you, grandmother.
What's that?
We appreciate the help.
You're welcome. Yeah, I don't think I would be able to guide you either way on opening or not opening this vault, but if you find you need any more information and you're able to access any more hints, I suppose. I there are many things in this land that I know about. I may be able to recognize something for you.
There is one thing. Um, Part of the key structure of what looks like a door to us requires the presence of three objects, round, possibly orbs, but they're quite large. They're the size of almost a head.
Like
And
sketch the triangle out of the dirt for you or something.
right, so and then Mount Lawrence sketches it out, but it's like we're looking to see what these three objects might be that would fit. Would fit securely into the wall and act as keys to open the door. And I'm just wondering if in your memory you ever saw something that large, that round, that precisely shaped. Might jog a memory.
Let me think. There are all sorts of round objects that uh, mortals with a magical bent. It's commonly used as a focal shape. I mean, I've certainly met uh, wizards who carry crystal balls and um, similar sorts.
As
But
have I. It's just this is quite large. Maybe a little bit larger than what I've seen in the past. And it
I'm
would take
afraid
three
I,
of
I'm afraid I've never been familiar with whatever these objects might be, though.
Okay, well I thought it was worth an ask.
We're gonna be here for a while as we shelter out the Redshift. Is there anything we can do for you?
Well, it's very nice to have company now and then. Have you all met Kapua? She holds her hand out, and a uh, child-sized humanoid stack of twigs and leafy branches is beside her. You barely noticed it, standing completely still.
No.
Haha, no. Hello.
Very nice to meet you.
Hello, Kapua.
It like waves, but you can tell it's shy. And she says, "This was the result of that seed you all provided here.
Oh, of
Um,
course.
we've been trying to encourage this one to uh, be a little brave. So I think perhaps some socialization might be in order."
Of course.
If bravery is your game,
We'd be
I'm
happy
sure
to
there's
do that.
something we could help.
Great.
Nothing,
Well,
nothing creates bravery like training.
well, I don't think you'll have to draw weapons at the very least.
Well, I wouldn't want to hurt the boy.
Oh, and do keep in mind this one it speaks the Sylvan tongue. Uh, so
Exclusively?
yes.
Damn it.
Probably.
I know Sylvan.
It's gonna
I
have to
know
be my next.
Sylvan.
It's gonna have to be my next language.
Thanks to Mount Lauren training me, I learned it.
Well, I think we'll end it there. As you all will get to camp out in the grove for a week. Um, the pixies will feed you however many nuts and berries you want. You'll get to hang out inside your leaf pod tents and enjoy your time there. Your mule is fine, by the way, and you were able to retrieve your cart and all that. So don't worry about that.
Okay.
And
Does the mule have enough to graze on?
yeah, they'll be able to take care of it too.
Okay.
And I mean, grandmother would never let a helpless creature starve to death in her grove.
Right.
You are all going to receive for today 700 XP each. In addition to that, even though you're not back at the fort, but we'll just handle this now so we don't forget it, you'll all get 15 marks. So that would be what you'll get paid once you get back later, during your off week, I suppose.
Alrighty.
And that is the game.
Thanks for
Are we
hosting
all
us,
still
sir.
level 4? Nobody's level 5 yet?
Nope,
Just
I'm
wondering.
getting closer, but not quite.
Yeah, getting
Alright.
there. Not quite.
Yeah. If anyone was level 5, it'd be one of them.
Good game, everyone. Thank you for playing.
That was very interesting.
Glad you
Yeah.
guys liked it.
Yeah, I
Like
want to
a-
know how to open that
like
vault.
Like a Zelda dungeon.
That's excellent.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know that I want to know what's inside the vault so much as I want to know what those keys are. And I wonder if it took 3 separate wizards arriving at once to open the door, which is what I'm guessing.
Yeah, actually, I was kind of hoping that when we all touched our weapons to it, that we would like complete a circuit or something. Because my theory was that like they were actually like targets for spells or something like that.
Yeah.
I see.
Oh,
3
sounds like
different
the one-
kinds of water or something.
like
3
the one
different
thing I
kinds
didn't
of
do.
something or other. But yeah, and it would take 3 of them each holding a key and placing it and holding it or something, and that would complete a circuit and open the door.
That
Yeah.
would have the closed circuit would have been a cool solution.
Yeah.
Alas, it was not the one that I selected. So you'll have to figure out something.
We'll find it eventually.
Oh yeah, we'll get it.
But I'm glad you guys had fun. So next time I will update the calendar with everything. I don't think I'm going to update the. I don't think I'm going to add any subsequent events yet until I get a better idea of what is going on in life after that, because I've been pretty busy. So I need to just make sure I have time to work on it. But most likely we'll play next week and the week after.
Cool,
Okay.
cool.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah. See you
Thanks,
guys
everyone.
later.
See ya.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.